Hope I don't catch a cramp. Yo, it is the hump day. I'm so glad. How you fellas doing out there tonight? What it do?
Chilling, chilling, man.
Y'all niggas,
I'm
I'm
trying to
trying to
find
tell
my
you.
liquor.
I say like this: it's a good day, y'all mean to be the guys podcast because other podcasts seem to be facing some trouble right now. So it's a good day to be us.
shit. They got to figure this shit out. That's all I can say. They got to figure their own shit out.
Hey man,
I need me a Virginia Slim right now.
it is what it is. We don't
So
got them type. We don't got them type problems over here.
absolutely, absolutely. Stack me smoking though, man. Casually.
Newports,
You said
Oh
it's
man,
casual.
menthol
casually.
gold.
When that joint go like this and then come out like this, that's like a casual smoke, man.
Gotta smoke them while you can. They about to ban menthols.
yeah, that's what y'all need to do, man. Ban menthols and make marijuana legal, right? That's what they're doing. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Yo, Murph, how you doing there tonight, homie?
Well, I lost my liquor, but I found one. I found one bottle, but I'm trying to find my goddamn Remy Martin. It's somewhere around this motherfucker.
No, you fine. You fine. You don't need Remy Martin.
What?
No, you're fine. You don't need Remy Martin. You're fine.
No,
You're
nigga,
fine.
I need Remy Martin.
Okay. All right. Do you? Do you? Do you?
Yeah,
Yo,
but yeah, as long as they don't goddamn, they not making liquor illegal. So shit, I'm good.
yeah, that's not going to happen. Prohibition helped that out. But
Yeah.
yo,
And hey, let me tell
yeah.
you, we always have a bootlegger.
Yeah, it's still going on right now today. But we're good. We're good. We're good. I ain't gotta worry about that part. So yo, before we get into it, yo, shout out to Blackjack TV. Shout out to everyone out there who's rocking with us. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to Facebook Live. Everyone who's actually out there rocking with us on the front lines and behind the scenes. Shout out to the street team, Tayson out there. See you, Tayson, our street team general.
General Tayson.
Shoot out the general. Him and his brother, Tayson's twin brother, man, he's also a general
Yeah.
too. So shout out to that brother also. And shout out to all of you guys out there as well. Shout out to Becca, shout out to Tina, shout out to the Lullas. They coming real soon. They got a show popping out on our Sunday night, 8 o'clock.
Can't
Make
wait.
sure, make sure y'all be prepared for that show. Look for the details. It's going to be on our page. So be checking out for that. So they got a whole new vibe coming. So we get ready for all of that. So with that said, let's go ahead and kick off our icebreakers, man. Let's kick off our icebreakers. So I'm gonna start with you, Merv. I'm gonna start with you. It always gonna start with you with the icebreakers, man. So what's your icebreaker for the week, bro?
Yo, there was several icebreakers that I was looking at that fell in y'all lane, but I felt like I could have used that shit in my lane that I wanted to goddamn discuss, but I ain't gonna step on no toes. I can't wait to hear y'all bring that shit up. Um, but I went simple this time. I went very simple. All right, it's not it's not really a storyline, but I felt it'd be a nice motherfucking icebreaker. So Kylie Jenner did a very very nice um borderline photo shoot. And I just want to do some eye candy. I'm bringing some nice, sexy eye candy. That's all I want to do. That's the icebreaker. We're looking at some bodies, some titties, some yeti,
Whoa, yo,
tickle
yo, yo,
bitties,
yo.
some
Appreciate it,
ass.
Murph. Appreciate it.
Hey, and then you look at this one right here. You know what I'm saying? She doing a jail pose, but that jail pose right there is sexy than a motherfucker. Y'all see that shit right there? Look at the look at that titties.
No, whoa, whoa.
Nigga need to look at
Hey,
soft porn. Look at jack off on your own time, man. I mean,
hey,
why is
Please,
it
please, right?
hey,
Yeah, don't use this forum. Don't use this forum to get off, please. Good grief. Are you finished? Are you finished? Are you finished? Yo, can you take that?
ah.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, hey, y'all see it? Y'all
Oh,
see it?
shit.
Wow.
Hey,
Whew, funny shit.
hey, hold up. Oh shit.
Are you
You got a
finished?
napkin?
Oh my goodness. Stack, what you got for us, Stacks?
You know, I was there to bring dignity back to the shit, especially after Merv and his Pornhub.com fantasies and
Just
shit like that. But
yeah.
my icebreaker is going to be the big breakup, the big money breakup. Bill Gates and Melinda Gates are calling it quits after 27 years of marriage. Bill Gates his net worth is $127.9 billion, which makes him the fourth richest man on the planet. And you got Melinda Gates, her net worth is $2.4 billion. They jointly run the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. There was no prenup, so he about to lose some of them dollars. So it's a amicable divorce. Apparently the separation's been in the work for like a year or whatever. I'm just interested to see how much of his ducats he gonna get. So that, I mean, moral of the story, no matter how much money motherfuckers got, and I mean, same thing with Jeff Bezos, man. Hey, money can't keep people together.
Nope, not at all. Not at
Hey,
all.
and don't forget, Bill Gates fucked one of his co-workers. Yep. TMZ
Yeah,
got it.
that situation's messy. Like the detail, all the details ain't even came out about that shit. That shit is messy as hell.
My bad, not co-workers, his subordinate, his employee.
Mm-hmm. And then he had a girlfriend on the side. So Bill
Sound
was
about
definitely
right.
putting it in. He was definitely getting it in, no doubt.
What you got, Mark?
Well. What then dominated the headlines? You thinking maybe it's NBA playoffs? Maybe it's something else? No, it is Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown has been on a rampage against anybody you know who's speaking on his name. And you know what, though? I'm going to say like this, right? Listen, it all started with all the smoke. That's Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, right? Now, everybody, you know, they joked about Kwame Brown and how he ain't live up to expectations and all of that, you know, because he was the #1 draft pick way back in like 2000. You know what I'm saying? Or 2001, one of those, right? But, you know what I'm saying? They just kind of kept going with it. And then Kwame hit back. Now, here's my problem, you know, with the whole situation. First thing, if somebody talk about you, you got the right to talk about them back. And guess what? If you hit low, so the fuck what? You know what I'm saying? I was like, that man was leaving you alone. He ain't say shit about you. Y'all mean y'all just want to kept jabbing him. Then y'all mean for he hit you with a Mike Tyson right cross and knocked y'all the fuck out, all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? He got a right to say whatever the hell he want to say. I mean, just like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, oh, well, they was keeping it basketball. Guess what? In the street fight, I mean, do you just keep it with fists? Or if you have a brick by your side, do you hit that motherfucker upside the head with a fucking brick? Yes, you do. You know what I'm saying? And here's another thing. I'm going to make another point, right? Here's one more thing. You know, oh, well, Kwame, you know, he didn't have a career that the other guys had. And that's some real fuck shit when you think about it, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. You know what I'm saying? If somebody lose on that day, they just lose. You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure Merv played against all SEC receivers, motherfuckers who went to the league, and Merv probably laid a few of their asses out. Guess what? Yeah, I mean, you can't talk that shit. Oh, I'm all SEC. But guess what? You wasn't today, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So kill that noise about that. Yo, you know, they had a better career. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Who lost? You know what I'm saying? Just like when a diss record come out, who won, who lost? I don't give a fuck about their career. You know what I'm saying? And that's also a bad thing, you know what I mean, for to really promote or teach, right? Because guess what? If you're talking to some kids, that's going to be they out. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, oh yeah, well, you know what? I'm better than them in this sport, or I'm better than them in this part of life. So I don't have to respect they win. I don't have to shake their hand. I don't have to give them no props. I can just walk by like the Pistons did the Bulls you know what I'm saying, back in the day when they ain't shake their hands at all. Fuck you, Mike. I ain't shaking your hand even though you beat me. Be a man and, you know what I mean, be respectful about that. So I'm just saying, you know, I'm just like, yo, don't co-sign that fuck shit, man. Seriously, if a bull lost, say he lost, keep that shit moving.
Yeah. I can't. What can you say that hasn't been said already with that? I guess my only icebreaker that I have in the vein, in the spirit of tonight's show, I would just say I didn't put no banners up, put no pictures up because I don't really have anything. Because I really wanted to make sure that I kept it within the vein of the show for tonight. But first of all, I want to say rest in peace to the legend. We lost a legend today, and if you guys don't know, Paul Mooney actually passed away.
Yeah.
A legend, an unsung hero in some aspect. He was the guy who actually wrote for Richard Pryor. You saw him on Dave Chappelle. So I just want to say rest in peace to that brother. You know, blessings to his family. Hopefully they can get through this challenging time. They keep passed away from a heart attack early this morning. So I want to get that in there before I get into my icebreaker. Just in the vein of what's going on tonight, I saw from a hip hop perspective, I saw Nicki Minaj she re-released her mixtape, and she reconciled with Drake, and she reconciled with, I guess, some issues she had with Wayne. The problem with that is her husband is not a big fan of Drake because Drake been trying to get at Nicki since inception. Drake been trying to sneak in little jabs at Nicki for a while. He said in these songs. Wayne made some comments in a song as well, you know, about Nicki. So her husband kind of looking weird, like, yo, you just reconcile with these guys, but he's not realizing that Nicki need a lifeline right now. She needs someone to help her get back into the game because Nicki Penn has really fell off since Safari bounced on her. So I mean, she bounced on Safari, however you want to look at it. But to see them back together now, they reconcile. We'll see we get some Young Money music coming out real soon. I'm sure they're gonna drop something. They had the little the actual single that dropped last weekend. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'm sure they're working on something else. I don't know if Lil Wayne head is in the game when it comes down to the rap game because he's doing his own thing. I think he had the new weed line coming out real soon. I think he already launched that. But I wonder how this thing is going to play out now because from my understanding, what I read before, her husband wasn't a big fan of her being, you know, in that Young Money clip because of Dirty Mac Drake. So let's see how that work out, man. I know Drake probably like this right here in the cut, like I got him back, you know what I mean? So we'll see how that work out, man. But I heard the album. It's a re-release. It's the Beam Me Up Scotty mixtape. He has some new joints on there. It's all right. I think that Nicki is pretty. I think she's done. To be quite honest, I don't know what else she can do at this point. I think her time is up. I'll be surprised if she can come back and do anything at all. So that's my icebreaker for the night. So Murr, I'm gonna kick it back to you, man.
All right. We're going into the topic.
Back to you, Murph.
Shit. Y'all talk too fucking fast. We're supposed to goddamn talk longer in this for the icebreaker. Y'all ready to jump in the main topic already?
Are we on it? Yeah.
I think we're ready, man. I think we're ready. Might as well get into it. I mean,
all right, cool. We're gonna
what else is going on out there? But I mean,
true. We're gonna bring. Normally our icebreaker goes to about 8:30. Then we bring our other people on. We bring anybody else on right now. We're gonna start talking.
Let's just start talking, man.
Yeah. No doubt.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. So the topic today is marriage, but it's traditional versus untraditional. And the base of this came from, there was a post where a lady was talking about she wants to be married, she wants a husband, she wants all of that, but she said she wants 2 different addresses. She wanted 2 different households. She said she don't want to see her husband every day. She wanted to be able to, he got his own place, she got her own place, and that's the kind of marriage that she would want. And I saw it, I was like, yo, this gotta be like a one-off. This gotta be a one-off. There's no fucking way that other people is thinking the same thing. I'm thinking she just put that shit out there to get comments and to get posts, right? So I reposted it in our group. And yo, to my dismay, to my surprise, yo, it was a lot of people that was co-signing that and was actually like, I could get down with that. I could do that. I'm feeling that. And you would think it was just niggas, right? You would think it'd be niggas that's like, oh hell yeah, I don't have to see my shorty every day. I don't have to see my John every day. I don't have to hey, I don't have to see my busted baby every day. I don't have to like you think it would be the niggas, but yo, it was a way more of the ladies that was co-signing and was okay with that. Matter of fact, it was the guys that was like, yo, they're lying. Or I think one of the comments from a guy was like, yo, she must be scoring or something. But it was the guys that was like dismissing that and criticizing that. But it was more ladies that was actually like, yo, I can see myself doing that, and I would be willing to try that. That might be the way to go. So when I saw it, that's when I posted with everybody else on the podcast. I'm like, yo, y'all check this out. This may be something to talk about.
Yeah.
And then one of our podcast members, Tina B, she commented on the post. She said a lot of people, they do that a lot in Jamaica. I believe she said is actually more popular in Jamaica than we realize. And she put some good points out there because she has some knowledge of traditions of people that does it. So she used that, and Tina B orchestrated this outline where we're talking about non-traditional marriages, but she add a couple of traditional bullet points in there to have something to compare the bounce off of while we talk about the non-traditional marriages. So we're going to talk about being married but separate households, meaning two different addresses. Open marriage, meaning like the husband, if he sees something out there, you see a fat ass, you see some double D's, he has the ability to go after it. The wife, she out there, she see an imprint with a zipper at, or the nigga flexing his chest, making that shit jump. She has the ability to see what the fuck that's about. But it's only about fucking. It's not a relationship thing. It's only about fucking. And then we also going to talk about arranged marriages as well. So we're going to talk about all of the non-traditional American way of marriage, while we also do some comparison with the traditional way. So that's how we came up with it. And Tina B put the outline together for us. So let's go ahead and get started.
Let's go.
Goddamn, Sean, I can't see your eyes. You look like the motherfucker from X-Men that got the damn shit. The damn hit motherfucker.
Cyclops.
Let's move, man.
Cyclops.
Cyclops,
Cyclops,
man.
you got doing them goddamn glasses, man.
Let's keep it moving, baby. Let's go, man.
All right, so we're gonna jump in this shit, man. We got different statuses that's on here.
Right.
We got married. We got people that's been married, still married. We got people that's divorced. We got people that's single, never been married. So we got guests that's coming on. We're starting off right now with three. Just the three of us. We're bringing people on to give their perspective.
Right.
So we'll start with you, Sean. You want me to ask you questions? You want to put you on the spot, or you want to volunteer some shit now? Cause
Nah, just put me on the spot, man. I don't volunteer anything, man.
Oh, okay. I'll put you on
You know what I'm
the spot
saying?
then. Now, do you have open? You got open marriage?
Hell no. What's wrong with you, man?
That's an easy answer. Easy.
Yeah.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
hey, okay. Hey, have y'all ever discussed open marriage?
Hell no.
Easy
Nigga, what's wrong
answer.
with you?
Huh?
No.
Nigga, I
bro.
gave you the fucking opportunity to talk. And I asked, do you want to talk? Or you want me to ask you goddamn questions? Then you said ask your questions, right?
Ask me questions. I don't. Yeah, I can answer the no. We do not. Nah, we're not swingers. We don't talk about open marriage. Nothing like. I wish a motherfucker would come here talking about some open marriage. Hey, you better open up. I'm about to open up this combination on your head. No, man,
okay.
nah.
So
nah.
All right, so you're into the you into the monogamous.
Huh?
Monogamous.
Nah, you know what I mean?
I don't understand what you're saying right now, but no, I'm your husband, you're my wife, and that's it. Whatever you're trying to say, I'm not into that. I don't even know what that is.
Hey, nigga, don't act brand new. Y'all know I use my own words of the shit, nigga.
Yeah, of
You know-
course.
you know-
That's why I don't know how to answer those your own words. So I have to rephrase it so I can answer it the way that's better suited for me. But no, I mean, I'm more of the traditional ilk of that. Like, and not tradition to the point where everything is like I think the traditional marriage, from what I've read and what I've heard from other people, is old-fashioned marriage where the husband pays all the bills, the husband does everything. In my household is more of a balance. It's like I'll take care of the big bills, like the house and things of that nature, light or whatever. She take care of the small auxiliary things like the light, not sort of like bill, but the water bill, maybe the cable bill, depending on how that shit get. Matter of fact, I taking cable bill now, that shit like $230 something. They raping us down here, man. But I take like the big stuff. She take the small stuff. And that's the way that's the way I feel like it's supposed to be. I won't say that we are a millennial married couple because we got married back in 2008. So I won't consider us millennial. I would just say it's more of more progressive, if you will, because I'm all for her pursuing her career. She has an MBA. She's pursuing. Her field is in auditing, right? Dealing with all kind of audit documents and things of that nature. She also works from home. So I'm all about her going after her goals and all that good stuff. More money in a house, more money for the family. That's how I look at it. More traditional guys, more traditional marriages, guys who I talked to this past week, they don't want a woman that has a career. They want someone that actually comes home, cook, clean, stay at home mom. And they foot everything. I'm like, hell no. I told my wife before, I said, once you got your MBA, there's no more option for you to work, not to work. I mean, you got MBA for a reason. There's no option for you to stay at home and be a stay-at-home wife. Stay-at-home wives don't get an MBA and just let that ride. So I think we're progressive.
So basically, so what you're saying is stay-at-home wives need to be like Celie off Color Purple.
Goodness, I mean,
that's a good point, though. That's a good. That's what Mr. wanted. Mr. wanted. He didn't want you. He didn't want you to do anything. Mr. was like, "Yo, you staying home when I need to get right. I need you to make sure I get right." And Mr. was looking at other women. So,
yeah, any one of the other chicks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And in front of her, Mr. didn't care. Mr. didn't care, man. Mr. wasn't shit. But yeah. But you got people out there now, even our age, who still look for that kind of relationship, that kind of marriage, where they're the dominant figure in that marriage, where they want their wife to be very submissive in a marriage. I was never a fan of that because I feel like it should be, you gotta be equally yoked. If one party is submissive, there's gonna be some trouble, man. The trouble in paradise, because you're gonna have one who's gonna be too afraid to express himself, or afraid to think outside the box and continue to add to the value of the marriage itself or the value to their family. And I think that's how a lot of times generational curses never get broken, because you have a dominant person in that household that they want a submissive man or a submissive wife or woman. And to me, that shit is played out, man, straight up.
Hmm.
I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. I challenge anybody to challenge me for that. I've been doing this shit for a few years now, so get at your boy.
So okay, so basically, what Sean is saying, my wisdom spent money on the fucking bachelors and the masters. The fuck I need an educated stay-at-home wife for?
Absolutely, 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 absolutely.
He's gonna spend all those thousands on college. I would put that shit to use.
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Because marriage is an investment. It's an investment. You're investing in each other. You are investing in the relationship. You're investing in your kids. Everything you do in a marriage is based on the investment of that marriage, your mental health, the relationship. If you got kids involved, it's also the kids. All that stuff, man, it's an investment from day one. When you say I do, that's an investment right there. That's an investment contract, because you guys are investing to make each other better, stronger, united. However you want to frame it, that's part of that marriage piece right there. It's an investment. It's not a business, it's an investment of each other. In each other morals, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, keep each other grounded. And that's the most important thing for me in a marriage, especially when you're young and you're married at a young age, or you're married at an old age. It's all about how you're going to invest into each other. Time, money, whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, you brought up investment. You said marriage is an investment. You got some people saying that marriage is a business. And you got to make sure the business is right with marriage to make sure it work, or to increase the chances of it working, and to make sure that both parties are straight, husband and wife. You got an opinion on that, or you need me to elaborate a little bit more?
Elaborate a little bit more, please.
Okay, so one of the one of the debates is saying, should you marry for love, or should you marry for business? A lot of people saying you marry for love. But you got some people that are saying you marry for business, and the traditional people are really disagreeing with the marry for business part, because when you talk about marry for business, you're looking at like it's several different business aspects. You got far as like the career aspect that you kind of touched on just now. His career, her career. All right, you got to look at that as far as like salary. What kind of lifestyle y'all want as husband and wife? Right. So, are both of us going to work for that lifestyle, or just one of us going to work for that lifestyle? If one of us is work for that lifestyle, then how we going to look at the bills and responsibilities from there? And then also, because finances is the number one reason for divorce.
Absolutely.
Then the other part of business that has become more, it used to be taboo back in the day, but it's become more talked about doing, is the paperwork business.
Yes.
And when I say paperwork business, not just a marriage certificate, but let's also discuss if things go left. Yep. We're gonna do a prenup. Right. And what's the details of the prenup? Right. So a lot of people when say you talking about business, we talking about the prenup. We're gonna talk about finances, what kind of lifestyle we want to live, how we're gonna split the bills, what weight do you want me to carry, what weight I want you to carry. Right. So that's the business part. You have some people that say main thing is love, and that's the feelings, and where love conquers all. But 50 Cent said one time, love don't get you on no fucking bus. You know what I'm saying? If you struggle, you can't get nowhere off of love. And a
Right.
lot of times that's going to lead to a divorce. So it's a big debate talking about whether it's love, married from love, or you
Right.
married from business, or
Mhm.
do you factor in both? And which one weighs more, if any?
Um, I don't think. Look, I won't hold anyone who feels that marriage is a business, right? Because there are business aspects of a marriage. Because you're talking about finances, you're talking about equity, you're talking about assets, you're talking about kids, you're talking about all different things that can be associated with a business, right? So I don't think I would, me personally, I wouldn't use the word business as part of the marriage. For my marriage, I use it more of, first of all, are we equally yoked? Number one. Number two, which is really 1B. 1A is equally yoked. 1B to me is total communication. Because I suck at communication in my own way. But if if your significant other allows the communication lines to be open at all times, where you're kind of having information flow back and forth. I think that creates more of a synergy between the two, right? Because a lot of times in marriages and just relationships, period, the synergy is thrown off. Something that would throw off the energy in that relationship, or just non-communication, whether it's verbal or non-verbal, whatever the case may be. I remember I had someone, they had just got married, and they were trying to tell me about marriage life. And I was like, I walked away like, what are you talking to? Like, I've been doing this for a long time now. Like, there's nothing you can tell me through the honeymoon phase, because it's a maturation process. You go through different processes in a relationship, whether you're married or you're not. You go through different processes. And I think when you go through those seasons, you have to learn how to navigate those seasons, because they may come, they may reoccur, right? You have to know how to navigate those seasons. Just like a businesses goes up and down. You can have a great year when the business is booming, and you can have when the business is really slow. So I can understand the parallels between the two. I just hate using the word business in a relationship, because I think a relation or a marriage, I think a marriage has to be built. The foundation has to be equally yoked foundation. It has to be made in a not to get too spiritual, but it has to be right, within your souls, within your spirit, to be able to be as fruitful as it possibly can be. Because if you go into a situation thinking that you're in love and you're not, and you're in lust, or you're in the heat of the moment, or whatever the case may be, when all that goes away, what's going to be left? You know what I mean? Like, you have to know if you're really for that person is for you. Because when all that happy shit go away, when all of the that first season of love go away, what you got to land on? A lot of marriages fall or fail at the first year, because they're like, damn, this person is the same person. And that's kind of where our comments, if you think more, the comments that we had in the on the post on the I'm sorry, on the page, a lot of women were saying they want to live away from their husband or their spouse. They don't want to live in the same home, or sometimes in the same room, or what have you. They need space. So how can you have that space if you're in a business or happy marriage? So I know there'll be differences of opinions on that portion of it. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. That's my thought process around that.
Gotcha. So Sean likes the boring marriages.
Boring?
Hmm?
You said boring?
So you like the boring marriages? You like the boring marriages?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. I don't think it's boring.
Man,
I
I'm
just
fucking with
think
you, man. I'm just
that
fucking with you.
you got to be careful. Oh, because you got to get me, because you trying to get me to say to agree to swinging, nigga. Nobody swings. All right, no man, nobody should be swinging. I mean,
Hey, no,
yeah,
I'm
boring.
just fucking with you, man. Hey,
That's crazy.
yo, Mark,
Yeah.
do you have a desire to be married at any point?
We'll see. You know what I'm saying?
What?
I mean, that's really all I can tell you, man. But I'm gonna say like this. I think I'm more for tradition, surprisingly.
Oh, really?
I mean, because if you have that person that you love, you know what I mean, and y'all click and everything, you know what I mean, is right. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I can settle down with somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? It makes you happy. But everything, you know what I mean, has to be like a lot of. I think what Sean said, the synergy and a lot of things, kind of falling in place. that shit has to happen. Like, it's shit that you have to know before you say I do. Like, yo, do you like kids? Like, if the answer is no, I don't really know if we gonna work. You know what I'm saying? I'm just,
Right.
you know what I mean? I don't know if that's gonna work. Or, you know, like, man, do you have any ambition? Nah, you know, I mean, I work this job, it's cool, but you know, if I ain't have it, I mean, this is shit. Like, I don't know if that's gonna work for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, even if I was rich, you know what I mean? I still think the person who I would be with, even if I was rich, they'd be like, I think the person I would be with or want to be with, yo, let me take a couple of them dollars, man, and start this over here because we can make some more money doing this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I can get with somebody, you know, just sit back. Yeah, I mean, you know, I went to work or I made some money doing this, and oh well, I was watching the talk show circuit, and you know what I'm saying, and all that shit and whatever. Or what the kids doing? I don't know. They running around and doing something. Like, I don't know if I can get with that. That don't work for me.
So you need your wife working?
Huh?
If you was married, you need your wife working?
I don't need her to work. I would, you know what I mean, but I would want her to work though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like,
hey, don't get so caught up. Don't get so caught up on certain words, man.
No, I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
But
like,
you prefer your wife. You prefer your wife to work. How about that? Is that a better word? Prefer.
Yeah. You know what I mean? More bread coming in. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, and here's the thing though, right? To be honest with you, like my dad presented that option to my mom. My dad was making real good money. So you just, okay, do you want to work or not? And she was just like, you know, she took a shot at what she was doing because my mom started out as an architect, you know what I'm saying, for one of them architectural firms before she went to be a teacher and then a principal after that. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, my dad was making good money. So he was just like, you take a shot at what you want to do. And then she was making good money, but it was just like, this ain't for me. It feels like something's empty within my career path. And then she switched. You know what I'm saying? And my dad was supportive of what she did. I'm just like, you know what I mean? If I was to be married or be with somebody, you know, like serious like that, I would want to look something like that. You know what I'm saying? Where you supportive of your partner and y'all want to make shit happen. Not, you know what I mean? Like, you know, how I think is way different from how you think. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying we got to be alike. But what I am saying is that, you know, on key issues, I'm like, yo, we should be aligned. Even if we think about it differently, we still should be aligned on that shit.
Yep.
Okay, so you're not completely traditional because you want your wife to work. So you're not down. So you're not down open marriage or something where you go to the club and you see some ass.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? You know, because first, you know, here's the thing. For me, I'm like, I can handle that, but I'm just saying I think, you know, for me and just like, oh yeah, well, your wife can do it too. I gotta share it. Man, I mean, it's one thing, I mean, to share a chick you meet at the bar. Okay, cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But share your wife though? Man, no, I can't share the wife. I mean, shoot, I can share a chick at 2 a.m., but I can't share the wife though. You know what I mean? I can't.
All right, question for both y'all. What if your wife only like women, so she do step out in an open marriage, she's only gonna fuck another woman. She's not getting no dick. She just get eat out by another woman, and she might do a little carpet munching herself, but no penetration, no niggas.
Still not
Sean, hush.
Okay.
I will come with you.
All right.
I'm looking. Hey, Mark Wheels is turning right now.
Yes.
Hey,
yes. 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 Yes.
Oh man.
Hey, so remix.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna say like this. I would ask her. I mean, do I get to get in on this action, or you know what I'm saying? Is it just you? Like, and if it is just you, you know, do I get a video with this shit? I get to see it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it could be like, yo, I want to get with this chick and I have no idea what's going on. I don't even know what she looked like. I don't know nothing. Like, I have to be some way involved in that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It can't just be I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's serious. And I'm gonna say like this. You know, if my wife or whatever, right, and he's just like, yeah, you know, I want to be with a woman, and the chick look like a dude, like I'm just gonna say no off the bat. Like, no. You know what I mean? Just no. How about that? No. You know what I mean? No young MAs. You know what I mean? And shit like that. No. Just no.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Hey.
You know my answer.
Don't worry.
You know my hell no. Like here look,
He said,
man,
nah.
look. Mark is different, right? Mark is different. Mark catch him, throw him back to the streets, wham bam. Look, I want to
Like,
I
no.
want a lady that's classy, not showing all the assy. Man, check this out. man, check it, man. Real talk, Merv. Like, check this. It's like it can be a gateway drug, right? They say you mess with certain drugs, it can be a gateway drug. When you start allowing the spouse to dib and dabble into other things, that turn into other things. Not me. Look, people can be salacious at times. It's going to turn into other things, man. So I knew a guy, but one of my boys, he was in the Marine Corps with me. He was all for that at one point. Dude came home. He was off in Iraq during this time. He came home. And unbeknownst to him, his wife was getting thralled by not just a chick, but another dude. It created a whole different entity that he wasn't prepared for. In the moment, he was happy. He had two ladies. It was no problem. They were digging each other. They were digging him. And then that turned into something totally different, bro. So again, hey, call me born if you want, if you will, however you want to chop it up. I just need you and me as it. Nothing more, nothing added.
Nothing more, nothing less.
But you know what? I got a question though, right? That's like, I mean, just what you said, Sean. You were just like, listen, you know, that could turn into something else, right? Now, Merv, you know what I mean? And Sean, y'all probably seen this movie that was that Indecent Proposal thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Robert Redford, $1 million, right?
That's a,
you know what I mean?
Mark,
And
that's a good question.
But think about it. The wife said, yo, we could really use the money. You know what I'm saying? So we could really use the money away. It's $1 million, right? And the boy was like, yo, $1 million for one night with your wife, right? But what ended up happening in the movie? He slept with her like 6 times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's $1 million for one time, not, you know what I mean? She sleep with her 5 more times for free. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, yo, that shit crazy.
Hey, Mark, I'm glad you brought that up. That's another non-traditional marriage kind of thing. So, fellas, how many of y'all will let a nigga fuck your wife for $1 million? Put it in the comments. Hey, listen.
Goodness.
Hey, put it in the comments. Fellas, how many of y'all will let a nigga fuck your wife for $1 million? Now think about it. Hey, people might be in different situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey,
man, pardon me for being old fashioned. It's supposed to happen, man. Like, that's what's supposed to happen. I'm sorry, Merv. I get it.
Sean.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, you might be in a different financial situation where you can say, hell fucking no. But another couple might be in a situation where the first is like, hell fucking no. And then like, but whew, we are about to be evicted.
Gracious.
Hey, listen.
That's called prostitution. I don't know if you know that or not.
Huh?
That's called prostitution. I don't know if you know that or not.
It's called prostitution.
Thank you, Stats, for coming back. Thank you.
I'll say like this, right? I'll probably say no, but I got to think about it. You know what I'm saying? The same way I got to think about, like, yo, man, like, listen, if you had a chance to rob a bank, right? You know what I mean? The money was right there. Would you do it? I probably wouldn't do it, but I would think about it. You know what I mean? But, you know, if I got the right setup, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd still think about it. Shit.
Sheesh.
It's not prostitution. It's not. It's being too technical when we talking about prostitution. But you know, hey, but people, but fellas in the comments, let me know what you think. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, no judge here. We don't judge here because we don't know your situation. You know what I mean? Motherfucker about to be out on their ass and about to come and take the couch out their apartment. and put that motherfucker on the cement outside in the parking lot. And all thing you gotta do is you just gotta let somebody get the pussy that you on for about 30 minutes.
Could we bring our guest on? It's 8:45. Could we bring our guest on, please?
Shit. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
What's up, y'all?
I'll make room for y'all, man.
Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, so
Let's change. Let's liven this up, y'all. Y'all bugging.
this ain't live enough for you? You want me? We need
Prostitution
to get more
talk?
live.
No, not at all.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's a scenario that's happened before, so you know what I'm saying. That's why I came up.
Listen,
You know?
I mean, hey, some people share their pussy for free. You get $1 million, but I digress.
If a man collects payment to let somebody sleep with his wife, he is a pimp named Slickback, and she is the prostitute. It's that simple.
Okay, cool. So,
But I'm gonna say like this in the movie. She actually brought it to him first. Like, I don't think Bo was a pimp. You know what I mean? Bro, I think she brought it to him like, yo, we could use the money. Like, so I don't know what we call her, but she kind of came up with the shit.
So let
That
me
doesn't
ask
stop her from being a prostitute.
So let me ask
All right,
this.
I mean, man, I'm just saying, you know.
So let me ask this. We only got I wish you had a couple more ladies on here. So the ladies, you about to get thrown out. Your husband just lost his job about 3 months ago. Pandemic, shit struggling, and you got Bill Gates just divorced his wife, and Bill Gates saw the imprint of your husband zipper. Like, yo, $5 million. I just want to ride your dick for about 30 minutes. You gonna let your husband do it?
No.
Of course.
I know. Well, I know you're gonna say no because you got no choice. But
I think you mean Melinda. You know what I mean? For Melinda.
Nick.
Hey, Tay-son.
Yeah, I said of course.
Oh, speak up. Thank you.
Of course he gonna be able to fuck for some money. Like that's.
There we go.
Like that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like use a condom and fuck the shit out of her.
That might be the truth.
Goodness.
Okay.
Use a condom, fuck the shit out of her, and I don't like everybody keeps saying prostitute. I don't think there's nothing wrong with being a prostitute. Sex work been around since the beginning of time. Sex work is legitimate work, so there's nothing wrong with being a prostitute.
And sex workers actually make a lot more money than people that have 9-to-5s. So the issue is we're not talking down on prostitution, but we are giving that type of lifestyle a title, and that is prostitution. Not saying it's wrong or right, but that is what it's called.
Let me tell you something, honey. My nigga gonna be a prostitute that night. he gonna sell that ass, okay?
Like, we need this money, shit.
Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Appreciate. Okay.
You better bust that pussy wide open.
Now I'm going to kind of hit the rewind button because we talked about a couple of things. I saw Becca comments, but I'm not sure if I saw Nick comments. But you probably already said it because if you cool with that, then open marriage, you wouldn't mind. You see something in a club out by yourself, you could get it. If he's out there with a club by himself, he could get it. But it's just sex. It's not a relationship. You go get a nut, but you come home to you.
I'm familiar with an open marriage. I used to fuck with somebody in an open marriage. But for me, it's for me in my marriage, it's not. That would not be ideal for me, just because of feelings. If you're going to be in that type of situation, then you might as well just be polygamous. Like I'm the kind of person I am. If I'm with one person, I'm with that one person. But if he wants to, have other women, then be polygamous so that all the women get respected. One don't be like a main woman and another one be like a side joint. That's just how I feel.
I gotcha. But yeah, I wasn't talking about relationship. I was just talking about like, yo.
No, I know.
It's 2 in the morning.
No, I know. But you know, sex can, you know, bring on feelings.
Right.
Or make you think that you have feelings that are not, you know, really there.
Okay. Gotcha. So
that's it.
Becca, you don't have a brother, do you?
I don't have any brothers. I have a lot of male cousins though. One of them is right above me. Hey, Stacks.
Right. And I can't remember, your dad passed. Your dad's still alive? I can't remember.
No, my dad passed.
Your dad passed. Okay.
Yeah.
Nick, have you been married before? I can't remember.
Yeah. You
have been married before.
You called my shit boring. I was in a polygamous marriage before. You called my shit boring.
Okay, I got you.
because we wasn't doing threesomes and cakey shit.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you this. Your ex. Was your dad alive when y'all got married?
Yeah.
All right. So the traditional thing is, before you propose, you ask the father. And the reason why I asked Becca, she had a brother, because when I was in college, when I proposed to my college sweetheart, her father died while we was dating. So I asked her brother while I was sitting with her mom for permission to propose. So
that's very sweet.
Nick, did your ex do that, or that's too traditional for you, or whatnot? Or do you know?
No, he didn't do it. He didn't really know my father. Me and my father, we was like, you know, I didn't grow up with my father. I'll just keep it short like that.
All right. Stacks, did you ask?
No, our father was dead.
Okay, gotcha. So,
but there's still ways that you can get around that.
Did he get around it?
I'll let my husband answer that, because I do know that there were conversations prior to proposing to me.
And welcome to the show. Welcome to the show too, cousin Rob. Since the moderator don't know what the fuck he doing, welcome to the show, man. We got a new guest and all that, man. Welcome, man.
It was good.
Some of us got some home training out this motherfucker, man.
You did,
and others don't. And others don't.
Well, pretty much. Yeah, I really didn't ask permission, so I just pretty much told him what I was gonna do and went with it. So I mean, yeah,
okay.
It wasn't the traditional, hey, can I get your permission? It was, hey, check this out. I'm about to do this.
Gotcha.
And it was like, word, go with it. You know what I mean?
That's kind of old school though, when you think about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's real old school. Like, you know, you ask, you know what I mean, for the father or whatever male figure, you know what I'm saying, is closest to her. Like, that's real old school. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So it sounds like you ain't doing this shit.
I'm just saying it's real old school. That's all. I'm like, man, you know, I mean, my pop did that, but I don't think my brother did. Though. I don't know if he did. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that happened.
Okay.
Where did it come from?
Be done. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're dating someone who is traditional or they come from a traditional family. Because a lot of times it don't even be the couple, it be the family that is requesting certain things. Make sure that he asks such and such for permission, and then make sure he gets down on one knee. Make sure he has a nice ring. Make sure that there's certain things that sometimes it don't even be the people in marriage. It be the outside that will determine. He may not have decided ever, if my dad was still alive, to ask my dad permission. But I'm sure somebody might have mentioned it to him, that if my dad was still alive, he probably would have had a conversation with my dad, just because it's been mentioned so many times.
Out of respect. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And of course, in that type of situation, you want the family to have your back. So, I mean, because we about to get into this lifetime journey, whether you like it or not. and I'd rather it be peaceful than everybody got beef with each other.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole different type of stress, and then that in itself falls into the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I've seen it.
Okay.
Agreed.
So before we leave this particular topic, this category, is anybody that have daughters or have future daughters, are y'all gonna request their guide to ask y'all?
No.
I'm not going to request for him to ask me, but I'm sure if he's at that point where he wants to marry my daughter, we already have a relationship. So if I like him, then he's more than welcome to do it, you know, without saying, can I propose to your daughter? Because if I say no, then what? Like, no, you can't.
Say yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but I mean, you know, it would be good. It would be good if he does that. That's not only a traditional thing. That's also a matter of respect.
Exactly.
Like, hey, you know, I'm about to propose to your daughter. How do you feel about that? You think she's gonna like it? How can I do it? You know, there's other conversations that come from that. But prior to an engagement, a proposal, you would hope that the family is already familiar with this person and have a rapport there already. So then when you ask, you kind of already know that you're going to get a yes. If you're going to propose to someone and you know their family don't like you, then you probably won't ask because you're going to get a hell no. We don't like you. Don't propose to her or him.
Yeah.
and that could go bad.
I was just about to say,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, like he said, if the family don't like you, you already climbing
You
an uphill
lost.
battle that's
you
gonna
lost.
be a strain on your marriage. So I wouldn't suggest you proposing the family don't like you until you can kind of get that fixed. Okay,
Because
cool.
that does matter.
We're
That
gonna
does
leave
have a
that
factor in the
that
marriage.
part. So the traditional thing is getting married in the church. But a lot of people lately, well, the other thing is having like destination weddings. So y'all for the church wedding, or y'all prefer the destination? If you had to, let me put it this way: if you were gonna have a destination wedding, and nobody will get left out, because destination wedding means you got to fly, you got to spend money. So if you can have a destination wedding and don't have to worry about your grandparents missing it, or anybody missing that you want there, would you want destination, or would you still have the traditional church wedding?
Who going?
Well, we didn't have a church wedding. We got married by the lake. So looking at the cost of it, shit, it could have been destination as much as we paid.
Okay.
Right, and been on the honeymoon at the same time.
Right, and one bird.
And what?
Right, but
two birds, one big ass rock.
Right, but cost-wise, destination weddings are not as cheap as people think, because you are still spending a lot of money. It still ended up being thousands, and that's not including where you're getting married at, if they charge you to rent spaces and things like that. And then destination weddings, you run the chance of people not being able to afford to come to your wedding, so then you end up having a small wedding anyway. And if you want a small wedding,
I know that's what I said.
You know what I'm saying?
But
But
we didn't worry about the cost. Would you prefer
we didn't have a traditional wedding,
or destination wedding?
Yeah, we didn't have a church wedding. We got married outside by the lake. So, and it was beautiful. The lake fountain in the background. It was really nice. So,
yeah. I don't even be looking at nothing like that, yo. But I was like, damn, this shit is dope.
I don't even think we discussed if we was having a church wedding or not. I think we kind of just by default in conversation realized we just wasn't gonna do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of worked out that way.
Yeah.
I know my pops.
I'm not a Christian, so church would not be for me.
Okay. So we got married. Did you go to Las Vegas and had an Elvis?
When I got married, I was actually no. That's not some white people shit. And my ex-husband is black.
Word.
So nah, Elvis did not marry us. But at the time that I got married, you know, I was practicing Islam. So we got married at the masjid. However, my spiritual evolution continues. And so I went to a destination wedding. I would pick out there's actually a spot in my hometown that I would like to get married at because it's meaningful to me. You know, and everybody, you know what I mean? So
okay.
But yeah, like no religious aspects I would prefer to marry an atheist, actually.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a whole nother topic for another day.
Yeah.
Stacks. What did you do? And again, same thing. If you could have a destination wedding, Jamaica or island or destination, and don't have to worry about the cost, and didn't have to worry about people not being able to come because of the cost, and everything is covered. What did you do, and which one would you prefer?
I ended up doing the
Me too.
like the courthouse type deal simply because we had planned on getting married, but I was about to deploy, so really got no time to have the whole wedding. Plus, I had already done that in my previous marriage, and you see how that shit turned out. So, but yeah, I would prefer if I had to do it all over again, it would have been a traditional church wedding.
And I said the same.
Yeah, that sounds like a Stacks answer. You seem like a pretty traditional guy.
Hey Stacks, I need you to do me a favor. Send Mel the link. It's on Facebook under last name Cook.
We're not Facebook friends, and
Yeah, you can still look her up. For me, because I'm on my phone.
we really need a producer. They send out links in the middle of the fucking show.
Yeah, that's what the fuck we do. Like, that's
No, nigga, that's what you. No, that's what you do.
Are you able to do it, Stacks? You want me to
Unpredictable.
do it?
Then I put in my goddamn bio. Hey Mark, what's my goddamn bio? What was the
Sean will do it.
Put my
Stacks.
fucking bio.
Sean will do it.
Yeah, Sean in the background somewhere. You got it.
Sean will do it.
Sean got it. Hey, I appreciate
Sean
it,
has
Sean.
it.
Now let's get back to our regular scheduled program.
But for some reason, like as far as like I think a lot of people now, I think just because of the world, the way it's changing, and just the mindset of people, I think you have more people doing non-traditional, unorthodox things in their marriages. Just because so? I think so. I would say I think so only because the way the world has changed, even with social media and the internet and just lifestyles and the roles of people, men and women in relationships. I don't think that a lot of people are doing traditional things. I'm sure there's still some aspects in it, but the totality of the marriage, I don't think a lot of them, I don't even think a lot of people are really getting married. Honestly, I think people are shying away from marriage. So those people who still do get married, they may have some traditional parts in it, but I think it's more so of whatever works, which is why all these other type of marriages have started to pop up, like not living together, not having a church wedding, deciding to not have kids, or if you have kids, I don't want any, because I know a woman like that. She was with a man who had a lot of kids, and she was like, I don't want to be baby mama number such and such. So she decided, well, I just won't have kids. So it's just, a lot of different things that makes this world go round, where sometimes a traditional mindset and a marriage won't work.
So give me a percentage.
Man,
we talking about marriage, people. Out of 100%,
I'll say give me the scenery, man.
Do you have like 55 you got 55% marriages is non-traditional, 60% non-traditional, you have 49% traditional. Give me a percentage from traditional to non-traditional.
I mean, if I would have to throw a number out there, considering today's society, I would say at least 60% is non-traditional.
Yeah, I agree.
60-40.
You know what I mean? So, because people too damn stingy, yo. Don't nobody want to make themselves vulnerable enough to be in a marriage. Number one. You know what I mean? Because when you're in a marriage with somebody, that trust shit is serious, and you definitely gotta like I said, you gotta know who you're dealing with. People don't like to probe. People don't like to ask them hard ass questions that you gotta ask, because they thinking about the next person's feelings, which I understand that to an extent. But at the end of the day, if I need to ask you something and that's gonna make or break this situation, fuck your feelings. This need to come out. We need to have this conversation. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's crazy because people are really afraid, really, That's the best way to put it. That's why you got comfortability in certain situations, like you said. That's why you got people not wanting to get married. I know a couple people, they've been together 17, 18 years, and they never thought about marriage. And I'm like, damn, at that point, okay, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta shit or get off the pot. Y'all gotta do something. You know what I mean? But whatever works in your house, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really knocking them. But for me, that would be like I'm working towards no goal. We not doing nothing but just sitting here chilling.
Okay. Mark, Nick.
Shoot.
The percentage question.
What's the question?
Like, if you had your percentage on as far as like traditional versus non-traditional.
I you know what I mean? I agree. I think it's 60-40. My cousin, she got married in Aruba, right? You know what I mean? She wanted to get married on some blue water. You know what I'm saying? And I was there, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, that shit was lit though, and then I think they came back and did like a big ass party so everybody else, you know what I mean, could come, and it was kind of like that was like a reception part 2 type thing, you know what I'm saying? But that's really what they did. I mean, but they had a plan. They were just like, all right, look, you know what I'm saying? Everybody coming to Aruba. I don't even want everybody to come, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear everybody bullshit on my day. My cousin, she kind of gangster with it, you know what I'm saying? So she invited like a certain amount of people, you know what I mean, that she knew would come out there. We went out there, it had to be 20 people, you know what I'm saying, total, right? But when she came back though, you know what I'm saying, they did like a big ass party, you know what I'm saying? And
so how was the marriage after? Was the marriage traditional?
No, I mean, nah, it was. I mean, shoot, they got married in another country, right?
No, yeah, I'm talking about I'm not talking about the.
Oh, you talking about like the marriage itself?
Yeah, the marriage itself. That's what I'm talking about. Traditional, non-traditional.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think their marriage is traditional. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, I would say like this. Well, not the part. You know what I mean? Not the part you were saying earlier. You know what I mean? Because they both work, and I know traditional. You know what I'm saying? The wife usually stay at home and the man works. You know what I'm saying? That's not traditional. You know what I'm saying? Everybody works in that house.
So you still got with what I just said, you still saying 60-40 non-traditional?
Yeah, 60-40. Yeah.
Nick, you got the same numbers?
Honey, I don't know. I don't know. I don't be in people's business.
It's a guesstimation.
No, seriously, I really don't know. And like the use of like traditional, like it's puzzling. Whose tradition? Christian American tradition? Like, you know, the world is a big place. So like, you know, even like as far as like,
you're correct. But right now we're in America, so you know in Rome we do is a Roman.
So that's okay. So you're referring to like Christian America.
Yeah, just
well, baby, I definitely don't know nothing about that. I hang around witches, honey.
So
next time you come on, have my fucking garlic right around my goddamn neck.
But I do. I mean, I agree that less people are getting married. I think that, you know, what was it like 20? Oh my God, no, the 90s was like 30 years ago. I'm old as shit.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you don't remember
that. Damn.
You know, like even back then, the statistics were like 50, 50, you know, as far as like marriage. So we grew up seeing, you know, marriage is not working. You know what I mean? And those of us coming behind that, you know, saw marriage is not working. And so, you know, people are like, well, shit, let's try something new. Because, you know, that shit, unless like in my family, that shit did not work. Okay. You know, but if like in Mark's case, who seems to have two amazing parents, you know, who really do that marriage shit, you know, his perspective might be different. But for a lot of us, you know, that then seeing crack and everything tear up our homes and jail and all of that shit, you know, they probably, you know, it's like, It's not at the top of the list like it used to be.
Okay.
But you know what, Nate? You know what's so crazy about that? Even with that crack cocaine epidemic, right? That happened in the 80s to a lot of our parents, aunts, and uncles. My example is actually the opposite. Now, I've never dealt with people, like a lot of people in my family being divorced. I've mentioned this before. My alcoholic, cracked out aunts and uncles are still together. They have smoked and snorted and drank everything in the world that you could think of. And they are still together. Which is
but that's from an older generation. And so their examples were from an even older generation to where like almost everybody was married.
Exactly.
Right. So, and they're our example. So when it comes, but even for them being our examples, I still know couples that are still together. I don't know a lot of couples that have been divorced, especially from, and I guess that what you said, Nick, also plays a big factor into if people get married, and if they do or if they don't, what type of marriage that they have. Because just like to Merv's surprise, a lot of women actually had said they would be okay not living with their husbands, which is totally different than what we would have traditionally seen. But because of how those marriages didn't work, okay, they lived together, they got tired of each other, they did all kind of wrong to each other. Let me see if the opposite works. So let's not live together. Let me miss you. Let's date. Because I've noticed that people who say couples that don't live together marriage-wise, they have the opportunity to date and continue to date, miss each other, go home, have their life, and then it's like, can I see you tonight? Whatever. So it kind of gives them both the marriage and the dating part.
Yeah. And also,
so I've been sorry I hopped on late. Hey,
Mel,
welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. So I've been married before, and I am a firm believer. People hear me say it all the time. I say it to all the young children. I say the only woman looking for a husband is one who never had one. I don't like. I've been married. I've been there. I've done that. It wasn't the best experience, but I know that I still have love to give. And I know that I'm interested in a long-term commitment, not necessarily a marriage. I'm not looking, for the next man that comes into my life, my boyfriend. He understands that I may not want to get married, but I do want a life partner. I want a life partnership. I think that I can still be on the deed. I can still be 100% beneficiary on your life insurance. We can still build and grow and have an amazing life without necessarily being married. Now, if it leads to marriage, if it happens to get there, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not going into any type of situation with the mindset of I have to get married. Because why? The only woman looking for a husband is one who never had one. Because we understand what it takes. We understand the sacrifices. We understand the selflessness that it entails on both sides to be married. And I'm not saying I'm not up for the challenge, but that shit is hard. Being a wife is one of the hardest jobs I ever had. I'm just being honest.
So look, we have a comment, which is actually pretty interesting.
Oh, I was going to say something.
I want to respond to it's kind of serious, but kind of jokey joke. But one of the things about being a successful relationship, not marriage or relationship, is being equally yoked. And Becky, you was like, you got aunts and uncles where both of them was cracked out and snorting, and they stayed together. Which if both of them doing is snorting, shit, it sounds like they're equally yoked.
They were equally yoked.
So that's even though it's equally yoked on the negative side, it's still equally yoked. So that was one of the reasons why they was able to stay together. If one was snorting and the other one was, I just want my vitamin water, that shit was gonna last.
It lasted from my dad and my stepmom.
Right, from the outside looking in, you were like, "Oh, they've been together 35 years. That's so good. How'd you do it?" And what if their response was, "We just smoke crack together"?
Yeah. So that's one thing about being equal.
Whatever floats your boat.
Mel, we got.
Yes.
I'm about to bring you on a real rapid fire thing because you came on late. Okay, you came on late. So would you let somebody ride your husband's dick for 30 minutes for $1 million?
Oh wow, 30 minutes for $1 million. Okay, listen, this is my perspective.
Bill Gates just divorced his wife, so she's worth
Okay,
billions.
so total transparency here. Total transparency. For me, the act of sex is just an act. That is for me. So I can do it because you're not going home to this woman. You don't have this woman's phone number. You don't love this woman. There's no connection. The only connection is when that wire transfer hits our accounts. You understand what I'm saying? So do what you do for the good of the family. It is what it is.
Take one for the team.
For the good of the family, for that generational wealth that everyone aspires for. 30 minutes for $1 million, have at it.
And you know what, Mel, to your point too, I think that mentions something that we talked about earlier too, about how the world has changed. Previously, there was no such thing as a life partner, right? You weren't able to do that. Either you were married or not. But nowadays, you can actually have someone on your insurance. You can have someone be beneficiaries of things. You can share accounts. You can pretty much share your entire life,
all of that,
without actually legally being married. You can title this person your life partner, because this is what happened. This is how they introduce gay marriages.
Mm-hmm.
They consider their person that they're married to their life partner, and you can actually now do that. So just like what Mel said, marriage is not actually getting legally married is not for everyone. But if you choose to have a long-standing successful relationship, that person can be your life partner.
Life
and
partner.
They still have states. They still have states where you have common law marriage. So some states actually still honor that.
Which goes to this comment that Murdy Mert left, because he talks about Commonwealth in PA. So the comment says marriage isn't the goal for everyone. The commitment is important, but the paper isn't. I know an older couple that's been together for 40 plus years but refused to get married. Why? The Commonwealth of PA laws were the main reason. They have a decent savings now, but it was stable when they got together. Long term, they looked at things and thought 2 Social Security checks were better than 1. You get for being married. Different states have different laws, and some people looked at it gets cut off at that point. And that goes to what you just said, Merv, about, and also you, Mel, just we don't have to legally get married, because yes, we can be life partners and not be legally binded to each other. And everything that a spouse would get in a legal marriage, a life partner will also get as well.
Yeah.
Very good point.
I'll tell you something, that I just thought about that was interesting, right? Speaking of Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, there was a basketball player, a guy who played for the Sixers, Aaron McKay, right? He had like a long-term girlfriend, that he was with like for over 10 years or whatever. And she went to court, or whatever. And it was like, no, that's your common law wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know how, like, the first judge, like, approved it, like, that's your common law wife. Then I think, he appealed it or whatever. And then it was proven, like, no, that's not your common law wife or whatever. But, I mean, that was kind of crazy, because I'm just like, yo, who makes this up? Like, wait a minute. Just because I'm with somebody for a while, oh, yeah, boy, that's your common law wife, whether you like it or not. Like,
yeah.
That sounded a little crazy to me, but it is a law. It is laws in certain states that just like, yeah, well, this is what it is, and you ain't getting out of it.
And even if you look at Dr. Dre's situation, he was able to get the judge to say that they were legally single, although they're still legally married, and that's because of all the money that she was requesting because of the divorce. So before the divorce gets final, Dr. Dre was able to, and this worked for the both of them. The judge was able to say that they are now single. Although the divorce has not been finalized, they are now actually single, which is very confusing, because if you look at the paperwork, they're still legally married, but the judge deemed them single. So now when money comes into play, when they get divorced, whenever that finally happens, all this money that she was requesting has a big possibility of not going to her, because they're now single, which is crazy. Which is crazy, but that goes to what we've all been discussing: marriage and all the different ways of different types of, and how marriages are nowadays in 2021 versus with our parents' generation or our grandparents' generation.
So Mel, we also talked about the asking the father or the brother for
we going way back here
for permission to propose. But when you got married, was that experience that he did?
No, that didn't happen. You know, when I got married, my husband said, "You gonna marry me or what?" I said, "Oh," and that's how it happened. We got married in Vegas. We eloped in Vegas.
So you had
we didn't tell anybody, huh?
So you had Elvis marrying you?
Yeah. We got married at the little chapel in Vegas, honey.
Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married.
You had right, so let me ask you this, because I'm doing rapid fire because this question I already asked everybody else. Do you have any kids?
I have two, an amazing 17-year-old. He will be your next city council, senator, president.
Wait, huh?
And Alex Blocker, that's his plug.
Wait. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and now you owe some fucking money for advertising. How about that?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
God damn it.
And then I have a beautiful 9-year-old who's an artist. So I have two beautiful children. 18 and 9.
A daughter?
A daughter. Mm-hmm.
All right, so are you going to expect the guy to ask you for permission to or ask her father whatnot for permission to propose? Is that something that you would like, or it doesn't matter to you?
You know, that's the first time I've ever thought about that question. As long as I think that once it gets to the phase of they're potentially getting married, he's gonna know if I like him or not. She's gonna know if, you know, I think it's right for, you know, if I think it's the right thing. Of course, I'm gonna let my children make their own decisions. But would I want him to ask her father? I think that those traditions won't happen anymore. I don't think it's gonna be what I would want. Those things, they're just not gonna happen. That's not the way this new generation is being raised. They're not being raised by fathers that did those things. So then why would they do it? So why would I expect that when I know that just doesn't happen anymore?
Oh, I did it.
I'm sorry?
I said I did it, but go ahead.
You did it, and you would raise your son to do it. But what you have to understand is a lot of men in this generation, they don't do it now, and they're raising children who aren't going to do it. So children mimic what they see. They mimic the values of their parents. If their parents didn't do it, then they're not going to do it. So I just don't foresee that happening, because I just don't think that happens in this generation anymore. That's not the way these what do they call them? Hot girl summers. These hot girl summer mothers. They're not raising their young men to do that. They're not raising their sons to do that. Absolutely. Now, my son.
And side note, this has nothing to do with this right here, but I can't stand when somebody's a grandma and you're talking about, oh, I'm a glam mom, I'm a me mom. Oh, I'm too young to be called a grandma. I can't stand this new fucking title of this grandma shit. But that's
but let me say something to that right
Lord.
Now, because I was 20 when I had my son. I was 19 when I got pregnant. I was 20 when I had my son. My son is getting ready to turn 18. If he has a child between now and the next 5 years, I'm not a grandma. I'm a grandma. I mean, it is what it is. Call me Don't call me Graham. Don't call me grandma.
Grandma or
granny.
How about that?
I look like a grandma.
I don't care. The title's grandma.
So bring this back full circle.
So let's go back, huh? So let's go
bring this back full circle. I Googled the tradition, the origins of the tradition. It says, this is from some website. I don't know if it's true or not, but it says the tradition of the man asking the father. It says the tradition dates back to ancient Rome, when the grooms would give the father of the bride a symbolic coin. By accepting the coin, the father had given the groom permission to marry his daughter. Back then, the decision was up to the bride's father and not the bride. And before when I had asked if anybody knows where the tradition comes from, like, I feel like sometimes we just be doing shit and not knowing the symbolism and where it comes from. And I feel like as Black people, we need to make sure that what we doing is our own shit. That's just a side note. I'm not going to get into that right now. But women were viewed as property. Women were viewed as, child bearers, and that's basically it. So that's, we were viewed,
Like Color Purple.
I don't know why you keep going back to this awful reference. Like, nobody wants to think about Philly and, and Mister doing his business on top of her. Like, nobody wants that imagery right now, Merv. That is not sexy.
My bad.
But you know what, Nick? There are also some African cultures that have that too. It's called a dowry. Yeah. I think they call it a dowry, right?
It's called a dowry.
Go ahead,
it's called a dowry.
But I'm sure that dates back to somewhere too.
Let's research that. Let's see what African tribes how do they do that. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
But what I do want to say is, although
dowries are practiced, they are practiced all over the world.
All over.
And
yes.
And it is an Islamic tradition. I don't, and then I mean, even people who aren't Muslim, they practice that as well. I had no idea my cat was.
Okay, so I found it, and it says basically dowries in Africa, and then they also have them broken down into South Africa, different tribes and things like that. But it's basically across the African continent, the tradition of the dowry remains a key pillar in unifying a man and woman in matrimony. So what would happen is, if he was to mistreat his wife, he would have to pay more money in his dowry. So it goes, and then if it's divorce, which represents a loss, he would have to pay out to have another wife. So the dowry in the African culture is different. And it says, this question says, what is the price of a bride in Africa? And then this answer is,
there's like 56 countries in Africa. There's like countless languages and ethnicities. So that is just, I mean, when we speak about Africa, let's just remember that this is not one size fits all.
Right. And because even when you look that up, it goes into different parts of Africa and different tribes.
So basically, this tradition comes from all over, right?
If I can finish my thought, because I didn't get a chance to finish it.
Okay, go ahead.
What I was just saying is that we want to make sure, maybe the reason why people are turning away from it doesn't have anything to do with hot girl summer or glamours. It's just that women are no longer viewed as property.
So I respect that.
I will say this.
I respect that.
When me asking, and me would want someone to ask me, I didn't look at it as property.
No, I know. No. I certainly am not calling you a misogynist. I am not doing that. I'm not doing that.
I look at it as more of a respect thing, and that is that conversation is that connection with her father, that you are joining together. Both you almost like, okay, I was the protector, you the protector now, you got her, etc., etc. And that's that first kind of that bond and that connection between you and the father. That I look at it as a completely respect thing. What love, both of them got love with.
No, I get that. But like Becca had said earlier, as people, the internet and everything, as people research more, as people learn more, they're learning of different things, and they might see that particular tradition and say, oh, okay, this might not be, what we want to do.
I got you.
So,
I don't see a new generation.
I do realize that things evolve and take different meanings.
Gotcha.
So I just want to point out that even though I wouldn't expect someone to ask if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But when my son went on his first date, he texted me. He was like, "Hey, I want to take this young lady out on a date. Is that okay?" I said, Does her father know that you want to take her out on a date? And so that's an expectation because that's the type of child that I'm raising. So I would expect him to ask the father because out of respect. I would, and he called the young lady's father and asked to take this young lady out on a date because that is it's a level of respect, not necessarily property, but that is the expectation of me from my son.
Let's pivot this because we kind of got in the weeds about this, about the asking the father.
Okay, rapid fire. What's my next question?
Went to the left. All right, so Mel, I know you say you don't want to get married again, and you say you look at sex as an act.
Pause. Okay. I didn't say I didn't want to get married. I'm not going into a relationship looking for marriage. That happens.
So
okay.
All right. So you view sex as an act. If you did get married, would you be okay with the non-traditional way of some marriages are open marriage? Meaning they don't have a relationship with them. There's no relationship. It's just y'all two. Only y'all two relationship. But husband might be at a bar. You might see a girl, nice titties, nice ass, and it's 2:00 in the morning, and you want to try it. Or if you out by yourself, you see it in print, you want to try it. So in that definition of open marriage, do you think that'd be something you'd be okay with, or?
Ooh, that's a lot of. Ooh, so, personally for me, my desire is not to be with other men. So I don't have a desire to be with another man. If I'm with my life partner, that is the man that I'm going to be with, that I'm going to be committed to. I do view sex as an act, and so I could be okay with it, because to me, sex is just an act. Did that answer your question without? Did that answer your question?
I got you.
So open marriage means that they both agree on that person. It's not just the guy looking at some chick at the bar.
Yes, there would be rules, but I mean,
have to agree on that.
That's more. I mean, you can develop your own rules, but if y'all together, y'all agree on it, that's kind of more of a polygamy, and that's why I'm being more specific.
It's different.
That's why I'm being specific. I'm just talking about the sex part. So that's why I'm being real specific, because I don't want it. I'm not talking about polygamy. Wow. I didn't want to come close to talking about polygamy. So let's go ahead past that. Let's go ahead past that. Hold up, Mel. I think the last question I asked them, far as getting married, all right, will you be more of the traditional wedding, or because a lot of people now is going to destination weddings. Traditional, like maybe the church, the pastor walk down the aisle. Or if you had the ability to do a destination wedding and didn't have to worry about cost and didn't have to worry about leaving any people behind, like your grandma's going to be there, or your granddad, your aunt, everybody want to be there, and cost is not a factor. So you rather traditional or destination wedding?
I got to be honest, if I ever get married again, like, y'all just going to see a ring on my finger. Like, and I'm as married now.
Okay.
As married, it happened. But I did traditional the first time, and it was a big production for the family. I had already been married for a whole year. A lot of my family probably didn't even know that till this moment. I eloped in Vegas, had a wedding for the family the following year, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't even know we were already married when we actually walked down the aisle. And so I would never do that traditional thing again. People get married and they do it for the family instead of doing it for themselves. I think that the next time, if I decide to get married, it's going to be very intimate between who I'm with and our children, our immediate family, be it destination, or we go down to the courthouse or in the backyard. It is like I don't have a need for that production anymore.
Okay, so let's jump into the topic of let's dive into married but living in a separate household. I know some people that's watching that was in the comments of the post that actually agreed to it. So,
I understand it. I understand that people are individuals. People are, they want to be able to live in their own space and be able to come together when they want to come together. But you can go downstairs and sit on the couch and bring your behind back upstairs. I can put my little she shed in the backyard. When I get tired of you, I'll go out there and get in my she shed. But at the end of the night, we're getting in the same bed. The night ends in the same bed. Okay, you can be mad at me, whatever it is, roll over, go to sleep, and we can fight some more in the morning. But at the end of the day, you got to get in the bed. And that's just how I feel. But I understand. I have an understanding why some people want to live separately, because they want to always have that honeymoon phase. They want to always want to feel like they're coming together because they miss their spouse or they miss their partner. I mean, I enjoy the person that I'm dating. When he goes out of town, to visit his family and visit his friends, I'm excited, like, go. I'm excited when he comes back because I miss him. I miss him. It makes me feel better when he's back. But if I'm married, if I have that life partner, we're in the same house. You go downstairs, I go to my she-shed, you go to your man cave, and we come back to this house.
Okay. I won't come back with some comments, but Mark, we gotta get you involved.
Okay.
Can you see yourself if you ever get married? Can you see yourself, you and your wife having 2 different addresses, 2 different houses?
Nah, that wouldn't work for me.
Why not?
Well, I'm gonna say like this: like if she lives somewhere else and I live somewhere else, right? I'm not even going to even look at it as a traditional marriage. You know what I'm saying? And then my mom might start to wander. So keep that shit in check. You know what I mean? We living under the same roof, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna live under the same roof and do what we supposed to do. Yeah, I mean, as a married couple. I think, to me, I'm just like, like, I don't mind anybody who thinks that way. Like, I need my space, so I live here, you live there. But I'm just like, having y'all been in a relationship where y'all were able to still, like, enjoy your relationship, but still have a life outside of a relationship. Now, I think some people, haven't done that, and that's how they answer the question. Like, yeah, I'd rather just, live on my own or whatever. Because I'm like, to me, it's just like the way they answered that question, the relationships they were in, they ain't have a life outside their relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I grew up in a house where my mom had, for the things that she did, with her girlfriends and things like that. And my dad had the things that he did, with uncles and people like that. And they still lived in the same household. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, that separating thing, that's just not cool because it's just like, I'm be thinking like, damn, where's my wife at? You know what I mean? Oh, I'm at my crib. And my crib ain't like next door. That shit like in the other part of the city. Like, ain't nobody traveling all the way over there to see my wife.
Hey, I'm glad you brought that up because hold up, before we dive in, Nick, give me your thoughts on it.
No, I mean, like, I'm not in a rush to live with somebody, but if but it has to happen at some point. Like, look at Becca and her man; they look like mad cozy. I would like to have that one day. You know what I'm saying? Like, plus, like somebody said, the Trini girl, hey Trinidad, but that's too much money coming out of the household. Like, it don't make no sense. Rent is so high nowadays. Like, fiscally, it makes no sense. It just it nothing about it would make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, even if you got
unless I didn't really fuck with him like that.
But the thing is, even if you got bread, right? Even if y'all got bread, I'm just saying, if you look at bills, and we, I'm like, if you look at them, like I look at them, like, damn, we spending a lot of money, for real, for these 2 different cribs, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what we gonna look at. Even if you got bread, we gonna think about like, yo, if we had 1 crib, we probably could do this other shit over here or do this. Like, just spending money, just to and not like be productive towards our goals and what we want to do. That don't make sense.
You could buy that other space and rent it out or something.
So let me ask
you. So that's what I was getting ready to say.
Hold on. Let me ask you this. What was a duplex?
Merv,
no,
really?
Merv.
Yeah.
It's
all right, so it's the same crib, right? Because she live upstairs.
It's the same crib, basically same address, except one is A and one is B. But
that's a straight.
You can come out or you walk out to the porch, make a right, open the door. He's in his house, you're in your house, but it's the same house.
But what if y'all break up? Now you got a duplex together. That's just
that would suck. Oh, that would suck.
Word up. That would suck. So nah, that 2 different address shit. That's for them stingy ass people that don't want to share shit.
Yeah. So Mark, Nick, and Mel, y'all still have the same feeling, even if it was a duplex?
No, I want to wake up next to you.
Yo, you know what I mean? I gotta ask you to come. I gotta ask you to come to the side of the crib. Like, that don't make sense. Like, Mark, can I come over?
The reason why I asked that, Mark, because you said reason why I asked that because he said Nah, if their house all the way on the other side of the city, I ain't about to drive there. So I met you halfway. I met you halfway.
So he made it.
The house
He made it
But
for
I'm
you.
still,
she's right.
but I
She's
still
right.
have
Y'all
to ask
speaking the same
permission.
voice.
But I would still have to ask permission though. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I mean, we live in a duplex or whatever. I'm just walking in that motherfucker. This is my wife. Like, you know what I mean? Ain't gonna be no asking, and I don't expect her to ask shit either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, this is my wife.
So the purpose, if the purpose of marriage is to come together as one, or the purpose of a life partner is to come together as one, to build, to grow, to prosper with, how can you do that in separate households? Now, I would never date a man or be with a man that can't cover his life. He can't take care of his life outside of me. I take care of my life outside of him. So when we come together, it's nothing. We got it. So the money that I'm putting in my household, we can go buy a duplex and rent that out. You understand what I'm saying? But if we're paying money to live in two separate households, what are we building? What are we saving for? What are we like? That's a lot of money out. That's a huge output when it's not necessary. We could be funding businesses. We could be, investing in something else. If he takes care of his own household outside of me, I take care of my own household outside of him. When we come together, it's all good. It's all gravy. So,
hey, Merk,
like, how would that even work though?
It won't.
How would that?
Because I got
well, maybe he can. I don't know. Maybe Mark can help me with this, because how would that even how would y'all have dinner together? Like, you have dinner, then you go home. Or how would you arrange? Do you have to plan sex nights? It's weird.
Right. Do you ask to sleep over?
Oh, hey, can I get some ass tonight? You know what I mean? To get to decide where it's gonna be, and then after you're done, you go home.
Or do you
sounds like a lot of mental work.
At your husband's house?
It does.
That sounds like too much brain work.
All right, so let me ask. Okay, now I wish I had somebody on here that was okay with it. Hey, Mert, can you put some comments? Because you said you was okay with it. Can you give us some comments for us to talk about? Now, how many of y'all have seen 50 Shades of Grey?
No.
None of y'all seen fucking 50 Shades of Grey?
No, the commercials kind of grossed me out.
I'm not into that kind of stuff.
How? Everybody on here, nobody on here is a goddamn virgin. How the hell that gross you out? They just talk about... Oh, you talking about like the whips and shit, or what? Like, what gross you out on 50 Shades of Grey?
The guy seemed like a creep.
Oh, okay. So, hold on.
What was the question?
Somebody, hold on. Let's see.
50 Shades of Grey.
Let me see what Mert says, because Mert was one of the people that said she would be okay with it. That's why
I want to comment on this comment after you read it.
All right. So when you have children and he has children, combining the family may not work for one household. So
2 addresses.
So 2 addresses may work. Y'all reading too far into it. So that was we told you yesterday come on here because I knew everybody was on here gonna be kind of traditional. We were trying to find some people that was more non-traditional, and we asked you to come in. I even put a post on Facebook looking. I'm like, yo, does anybody believe in non-traditional marriage? Just inbox me. Nobody inboxed me, and we was looking for a non-traditional. Mert, you should have.
I'm not traditional. I just don't want to live apart from my husband. I said I'm not traditional. I just don't want to live apart from my husband.
I was about to say the same thing. I don't think we mad traditional either. You know what I'm saying? I cook way more than she do.
And I'm not cooking.
Well,
I wash clothes. I was a single dude at one point, so I did a lot of the stuff myself. And when I met her, it just kind of transitioned to I'll do some of this too. It ain't got to be all you, especially if we're on the same team and we working to help each other. Like that's whack.
Mm-hmm. All right, so,
but Mert, you're talking about in a marriage though, Mert?
Yeah. All right, so he can come and go as he pleases. I can come and go as I please. We can bust it down at either house. So this is somebody that's okay with being married and living separate. So that's why I'm calling her name and I'm reading her comments.
So is the marriage so when you're at your respective houses, can you date other people?
Okay.
I'm curious, are you in a monogamous monogamous relationship, just living in separate houses, or what's the reason why you're living in separate houses?
Okay.
So that you can date other people?
So
She's
what's
saying
the question?
they married and
What's
living
the
in
question?
separate
So
houses.
Mark answered.
Necessary.
All
She
right,
had said something about kids.
That's what I wanted to answer, because
hold up. I got it. Mert, she wants to know, are y'all still gonna be in a committed relationship? Okay. See, here's the answer right here. She said no.
Yeah, let me tell y'all something about a man, and I'm not even a man. You don't lay down next to a man every night and you think he's gonna be monogamous. I hate to say it like this, but you might be the fool, because that man gonna get some somewhere, because you're not laying next to him. I mean, I don't understand that. I don't understand, like, coming from a man, answer this. If you're not laying next to your wife every night and you want some, and your wife lives across town, what you gonna do?
Okay, so
I can understand
So
that, because
if I can
out
just
of sight, out of mind.
interject real quick.
Hold on, one at a time. Nick, go ahead.
I'm saying, like, I can definitely
Murder's my
understand
girl.
that.
She's not a fool.
Because you know, a lot of it, if she ain't there, then, you know, like Mark said, my mind is gonna wander. But also, you got that 1-2% scenario where you meet a chick or you meet a guy where it's like, you know what, this is the one. Everybody else don't even amount. So even if I am dolo right now, I'm good.
So
Dolo, you from NY too?
So
yeah, Dolo was like a straight up NY word.
Okay, so Mert,
Dolo,
let me ask you this:
know what I mean?
where would you want for? Because everybody keeps saying the guy lives across town. They keep saying across town. So Mert, where would your husband live at? How close? Can you answer that for us? Because that's what we're. So
sometimes I don't think
Now
proximity will always
where
factor.
would the address be?
No.
How close would you be, or how far apart would you be?
Yo, mad people get cheated on in the same house. Like,
I
it goes
but
down
you're
every
setting
day.
yourself up for failure by living in a separate. That's like, to me, that's just my opinion. Like, you're setting yourself up for failure. But I understand why people do it for their personal reasons. But I wouldn't think that somebody that was living separately, married, would be faithful. Like I saw the comment about self-control. Yes, you can have self-control, but temptation, I'm not, again.
Damn. Okay, so Mert says no longer than an hour drive. So she's cool with somebody living about 30, 45 minutes away. So she is absolutely all about that life.
Wow. Murdy, I want to be
like, I'm gonna say, like, it would, to me, it wouldn't feel like a marriage. It's like, yo, you come home, right? Your wife ain't there. She lives in another crib, even if she lived close by, right? So, all right, well, I guess my wife ain't over here today, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, right? And then Merv called me, like, yo, man, let's go catch a game at the sports bar. All right, bet. You just feel like I don't have no responsibility, you know what I'm saying, to the marriage, not the way I should. You know what I'm saying? So my wife could call me, and I'm already at the sports bar with Merv, watching game. You know what I mean? Oh, honey, yo, you go get me this. Well, look, after the game, though, because I already, you know what I mean, hanging out with Merv, eating some chicken wings, watching the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't make sense to me that the wife ain't there, because the wife is there. You know what I'm saying? Then it's just like, yo, all right, this is what we need to do. This is what, you know what I mean? Whatever. All right, Merv called me, yo, you want to go to sports bar? Because I can't really do that right now, because me and the wife got to do this. But if I come to the crib and the wife be there, I'm going to feel like I just do what I feel like doing.
So I just
I have a question.
I do too. I've been listening,
Mert
but I gotta say something.
I'm saying.
Yeah, Becca had the church finger up.
This is a response to Mel, because Mel was saying, like, set yourself up for failure. All right, and Mert says, no, you may. She sounds like she agrees with Mel. No, you may set yourself up for failure, but I would definitely find someone that understands my wants and needs. So this is one of the situations where we agree to disagree. We agree to disagree. She said, I wouldn't try that with someone that doesn't get it. And
She also says he would have to think how I think. I'm not trying to change someone to think how I think.
So my question is for Murdy Mert, have you found someone that thought how you thought, that agreed to be in a committed a committed marriage while living in separate houses? My question is, how successful have you been finding that type of man?
All right. So let's see. We got somebody else. Let's see who's this. So when you do live separately, do you schedule it like 2 days a week? And is it your alone time, or is your partner allowed to come over? So
that's what I wanted to discuss.
Why, like, I'm reading the comments because everybody on here is kind of the topic we're talking about right now. Everybody's on the screen is traditional. Everybody on the screen is traditional when it comes to this topic right here that we're talking about.
No, I would challenge you on that. I would challenge you on that.
So you would live.
I wouldn't do it for me. However, I don't. I mean,
you understand.
I understand how other people would do it, and I wouldn't judge them for doing it.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but none of y'all will live separate from y'all spouse. Y'all just said it. So all y'all traditional.
But that's
not in marriage, but in a relationship, I would.
Huh? We talking about marriage. Nobody on here will live separate from their spouse while married.
But that doesn't mean that because we would choose to live with our spouse that we're traditional. That is
okay. I understand. He's talking about in this particular scenario.
So it doesn't mean that the couple is traditional. It just means that
on this topic, everybody on here is traditional. So that's why I'm reading Mert stuff right now, because she's the only person that's able to speak on something that she would do when it comes to this topic. So
I'm just asking questions for understanding because I don't know. And I'm like, for me, I'm like, I understand, but I'm curious to know.
You just got more questions. So Mert is responding to this right here. All right. So when you live separately, you schedule it like 2 days a week. It's a long time for you. Your partner allowed to come over. So
you said open door policy.
So so Mert answered her. She said, already answered that. Nothing is scheduled. It's open door policy. So basically, Mert saying, you got keys to my house. I got keys to your house. Yo, when he get horny, he come over. When I get horny, I go over.
Or if you just want to spend time,
if I want to have dinner with him, I go over there. So it's an open door policy. It's no locks on the door. It's just everything. Hey, Mert saying everything's just like a marriage, except we just don't live together. But my
everything. Question for Mert was
that would probably end up being a disaster for me. That would probably end up being a disaster for me because if I walk in the crib, my wife's not there. I'm gonna go work some extra hours. I'm going to the game. I'm going to do all this other shit. And
God.
It don't even mean that I'm cheating. It just means, you know what I'm saying? I'm just doing me. You know what I'm saying?
This is for you.
That's it.
That's for you. So I'm not looking for anyone.
I'm not looking for anyone. I'm
just in a different space.
I get that. No one's really looking at this age of life. So but my question was, has anyone found you that wants that lifestyle? I'm just asking. Has there been any potential viable candidates that fit what you seek for your life?
I can speak on this because I know Mert personally, and the questions are getting to be a bit shady.
Well, go ahead.
No, I apologize if you feel like it's being shady. I'm just asking for understanding.
Mert is not looking for anyone. When Mert is not looking for anyone, she closes the door. The door is closed. The shade is closed. You know, her light is not, the green is not turned on. We women know how to turn the red light on. And so her red light is on. Stop. That's what she means when she says she's not in that space.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mert.
Hey, but
don't come for her and she didn't send for you. She not sending for nobody.
So nobody was sending for Mert. I was just asking questions. I wasn't coming for her. But when I hear somebody on that end of the spectrum, like I like to ask questions for understanding.
Yeah, it's just questions, y'all.
I want to meet her. She sounds like a dynamic woman.
So hold on, Mel. Everybody, it's just questions. So it's like when you hear somebody talking and have a complete polar opposite opinion, a lot of time it's intriguing. All right, so this is like Merc, real shit. When I was the one that post this, all right, I was the one that post this, and I wasn't expecting no ladies to damn agree with that. I was expecting y'all to come in and be like, "That's some nigga shit." Ain't no goddamn nigga. That's what I was
No,
expecting.
there's actually a
You'd be
lot of
surprised.
women.
When
You'd be
I saw
surprised.
Merc,
Yeah, a lot of
Merc
women.
co-sign, it was some ladies from Georgetown, from where I'm from, that was like, "Yo, I could deal with that." I'm like, this is my response. Get the fuck out of here.
But you know what I think though? You know what I
This is the
think,
actual
Merv?
thing. So
That
Merc,
I think
the
what to
questions are
Murdy.
coming because this, like, to me, this is new to me. When I posted that was my first time ever hearing somebody express that. So it sounds like this is Mel. Well, let me ask. Let me not assume. Mel, is that your first time?
Okay, baby.
Yes.
Hearing a lady be okay with that?
I've never and for me, I'm like, this is interesting. Like, how many men would agree to that? Like, that's so my question was, how many men like that? Like, have you met someone like that? Like, I'm just curious to know. So again, if you feel like I'm coming for you, I promise you I'm not. This is exciting dialogue. And I'm like, this
she
is
got it
cool.
right there.
This is
She
interesting.
said no offense taken. But I just want to clear that up. It's our first time seeing that. And it was just like,
let's look at stats. Well, stats, to be clear, Chris Rogers, who is my crush, I'll tell the whole world that shit. He said that he's not with it. So I'm definitely not with it, because we gonna be on our compound, on our farm, doing our hippie shit and living in the same house.
Well, let me just add something, because I've been listening for a while. The fact that a lot of women have agreed to not living with their spouse is actually not a surprise to me. I've seen that to be okay, even through my timeline, people who are on my page, or even through regular social media. I think to Murdy's point, that separate household, it gives you, like I mentioned before, the best of both worlds. You do have someone that's part of your life. You do have somebody that is there. You can do all of those marriage, life partner things with, but living separately also gives you your freedom. What happens sometimes when you living with someone is you have to actually find time for yourself. It's difficult, especially when you're in a committed relationship, when you live with each other. You have to actually find time for yourself, because I've always been an advocate of having your own personality, having your own existence outside of who you're with. Like, I have my own existence, my own personality, my own life outside of my husband, separate friends, people I go hang out with, different interests. So there's always that thing where when you're with someone all the time, all day, every day, it's really hard to find yourself. And if you know people who have been married for a long time, they often talk about losing themselves in the marriage. Because you guys are becoming one, you lose your own self-identity. So having that kind of lifestyle gives you the best of both worlds. You can still have your identity when you're with that person, and then when you guys separate, you can be yourself, however that is, and still not jeopardize the relationship. So that point that Murdy's making works because of that. It's not necessarily because you just don't like the person you're with, or because you can't stand them, or you're really selfish. Sometimes those things can come into play as to why somebody would choose that lifestyle. But if you're thinking about somebody that's emotionally intelligent and have lived a life where they are able to now say, I know what I want and what I don't want, that type of lifestyle may work for that person. And I know some marriages where that actually does work, where they may live separately, or may not even see each other that often, or spend that much time together, except for when they're in the household. And it works, because sometimes you need a break from people. You're together all day, every day, especially now during the pandemic, working from home. You just in each other's face all day. So sometimes you do need a space. I may go to brunch with my friends. He may go to his homeboy Noah house just to get a breather. So there's nothing wrong with that lifestyle. It works for actually quite a lot of people.
I go upstairs in the
So
room.
Merc,
So to that point,
so read Merc's statement, because I feel like I agree with her on this. She says there's a lot of dudes feel like that, just scared to say it because they don't want to lose the girl that they're with. And I kind of can agree with her that there's a lot of guys that would feel that way. But is not gonna say it because they feel like the lady they're dealing with is gonna look at them crazy.
Yeah.
And they're gonna look and I mean
assume the worst.
Yeah.
And they're gonna assume that
they just want to cheat.
You must want to fuck other girls, or you must want to do that.
Right.
So I think I agree with Murder on this statement.
I don't even think it's about that. It's just, yo, she not there. You know what I'm saying?
Mark, you said to yourself, you said yourself that
he's stuck on she's not being there.
You said to yourself that you start wondering if y'all not in the same house.
No, but you know what though? I'm gonna say like this though, like for real, like yo, if she not there, right? Oh, I'm going back to work, get some more money. Yo, my man called me, got tickets to the game. You know what I'm saying? He said meet him in Wells Fargo. Yo, I'm just doing whatever I want to do.
Did you go to both houses,
I'll check in with her. That
sounds
crazy to me. Huh?
Did you go to both houses before you did that?
Say that again?
Did you go to both houses before you go back in the street? You said if she's not there, if y'all got two houses, you gotta check both houses.
Yo, Mark's facial expressions.
You got to go to both houses before you can say she wasn't there.
And then I gotta call like, yo, you up? Cause I want some. I'm coming over. Like,
no.
Well, what?
Hey, but Mert just said somebody that's willing to do it. You don't have to call. It's open door policy. So just show up.
All right. She ain't gonna like the time I show up, but you know, I'm just like, man,
2 a.m.
But that type of lifestyle is a need. That one thing that I think we're missing is, okay, that type of lifestyle gives you ability to cheat, it gives you ability to do all kinds of things, but that type of lifestyle needs great communication
and
trust.
Everything
so although it may not work, it may not work for a lot of people. You gotta understand that type of lifestyle will require the two people to be in unison. They have to communicate, and it can be a setup because sometimes you may not even have the mindset to do something, but the opportunity comes up for you to do it, and you're like,
let's reverse
maybe I
it,
can't
y'all.
do this without.
Let's reverse it. Okay,
wait, hold on.
I said that, Mert.
Wait a minute. Let Becca finish. Go ahead.
We're only looking at it in a negative way, right?
Let me finish.
We're only looking at a negative way.
Hold up, Mert.
No, she was saying positives. Becca was saying Becca been saying positives about it.
Go ahead, Murph.
No, I was just saying the majority of the time we only been looking at it in a negative way. So let's look at how it could be. Let's look at how the good things that could come out of it.
Yo, are you? What is it?
All of us look at it that way.
I don't even think he's drinking tonight. Becca literally just said that. Becca just said like mad positive things about it.
No, I was saying let all of us, and that's what made me think. I said, well, let's all of us think of it and come up with some reason for it to be positive. I said, well, let all of us do that.
He wants all of us to do it.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
All right, living separate, but the positives about it.
Well, I agree with Becca. That's one of the things that I did enjoy about being in a polygamous relationship, because I had time to focus on myself. I had time to miss him. Every 2 days he was with his other wife, and then every 2 days he was with me. And so it allowed me time, to be with the kids, to explore my own interests, get to know myself, and then, then I would see him. Mr. Green is not with it.
Nah, yo, I'm stingy as hell. So I ain't with the sharing, and I mean, because you can't expect someone to let you do what you want to do 24/7 and not have them fall under that same umbrella. You know what I mean? I mean, you can, but that'll just make you that much more selfish.
That's crazy open.
Right. You know what I mean? But
wide open.
At the same time, me personally, nah, yo, hell no. Don't even look over
so you have to find people who like-minded,
right.
Individuals.
Definitely got find somebody that's in that same cipher as you in what you like, or else you're gonna have a hard life, a hard single ass life.
Free time ain't good for me because I'm not really. I probably won't even check in. I'll probably check in late, like, oh shit, forgot to call my wife. Hey,
Oh my God.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
that was me
hey, you
in my first marriage. You know what I mean?
You know,
Because I was married before, and I did all the stupid stuff that you should do to learn from. You know what I mean? And everything happens for a reason. No, you put yourself in situations to learn from it, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So you can't make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Just like right now. Not to my own horn, but you know what I'm saying? I know my worth. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I bring to the table. And it ain't just some sex. Like I can get that anywhere. So if that's all you looking for, then again, you're gonna have a hard single ass life, yo. It's deeper than that, especially when you're looking for a life partner. Come on now.
Because life is very up and down. So when life is very unpredictable. So you don't know, what will work for you in any situation. Like during the beginning of the pandemic, we didn't live together. So there was a time where we went, I think like over a month or so without seeing each other because
that shit was whack.
Because with his job, he's in a lot of houses all day. So in the beginning of the pandemic, we didn't really know exactly what was happening. So there was some time I was like, right, babe, let's just take a break because I was still going to work in the office. He was still being a plumber and going to everybody's houses. You just don't know what was happening at that point. But then after a while, he was like, this shit is whack. I'm coming over and that's it. And I'm like, okay. And then he stayed and now we're married. So that living, even though we weren't married at that point,
stocked up on hand sanitizer,
right? Even though we weren't married at that point, our relationship, because the majority of our relationship was during the pandemic, and we didn't have the ability to be
out and about,
to be occupied, smitten by going on trips and going on dinners and things like that. It gave us a chance to really know each other because all we had to do was be in each other's face because everywhere else was closed. So in that time frame, you learn a lot about a person. So I learned at that point, okay, he's not the type that's going to want to be away for too long because it was every weekend he was there and then even sometimes during the week. But that 1 month where he was like, well, we didn't see each other and we just spoke because of the early part of the pandemic, he was like, this shit is whack. So I'm coming over. And that's it.
I mean,
and I was like, okay, the door's open. I didn't say anything. And then here we are. So it does take communication to have that kind of, to have a marriage in general. But when you have a very unorthodox marriage, a marriage that is extremely unorthodox, where most people would be like, are you bugging? You're okay with that? That type of situation needs a lot of communication. And it is a specific type of person that can deal with that. And it may or may not take time for you to find someone equally yoked with that. But if you do, then you'll be like my alcoholic and crackhead aunts and uncles. You'll be together forever.
Yo, those are the couples that do. Oh my God, man, they go through it. And then they come out of it. Yeah.
Right.
They
go
50 years relationships.
Together.
Yeah.
You know I mean, but honestly, like y'all was saying, that's an old school couple. Them couples now, I just be like, damn. You know what I mean? I just be shaking my head about certain scenarios. For one, like, why would you even put yourself or your partner in that scenario? You don't want nobody to do it to you, so why would you do it to somebody else? You know what I mean? I try to keep that thought on the front all day, every day, and not just my relationship and my life period. You know what I mean? Because I don't deal with disrespect too well. I really don't. I get dumb. You know what I mean? So I just try to keep it to a minimum and not put myself in a situation or either make them feel like they need to put themselves in a situation. Definitely.
I think it goes back to what you said in the beginning of the conversation about like people not wanting to explore their vulnerabilities with each other, people not wanting to have the hard conversations, to really find out if they're really truly compatible and if they really truly want the same things in life. Like hard conversations are just very, I don't know, it's not happening these days.
You gotta have
in romantic relationships, platonic relationships, whatever.
You gotta have more detailed questions nowadays. Because when you first start dating, a lot of times we just We just
You
talk
ask
about
that
the stuff on the
basic
surface, the easy
questions.
stuff, the obvious stuff.
What's your favorite
But a
food?
lot
What's
of
your
times,
color? Blah,
what
blah, blah. We get busy.
besides communication, that's the ultimate. But besides the communication, a lot of times it's the detailed stuff that we never mention or never have a conversation about.
Yeah.
When it comes to marriage, as far as like, what's your thoughts on raising a kid? What's your thoughts on disciplinary action? What's your thoughts on chores? Like those three things right there can fuck up a couple if they're complete
Real quick.
opposites on their belief when it comes to kids. So we need to have more detailed questions and conversations that makes it awkward, but makes us talk about and reveal how we believe things should go. But ultimately, I think what I gather from the general conversation throughout tonight is no matter whether it's a traditional marriage, non-traditional marriage, both people have to be equally yoked and on the same page. That's what seemed like the ultimate moral of the whole night is.
I mean, if I may say something to that, I would say in my opinion, the only thing that needs to be equally yoked is the respect for each other. That's it. Point blank, period. Because if you respect your partner, then there's a lot of stuff that you would just do just because you want to better the situation for both of y'all.
And also things you won't do because you respect that person.
My point.
So
yeah,
that
I think a little bit more than that. I think you got to look at. I think it's additional to that as well. Like your educational beliefs, your career beliefs. Like, cause one person might be an entrepreneur, and they want to go, like the movie Pursuit of Happiness. He was an entrepreneur. She wanted something stable. That created that kind of created the disrespect from one another because she felt like he's taking us on this run and he's not providing. She didn't want risk. She wants stability. So just something as small as that, or like just I think it's more. I think it's bigger than that, and I think that's where the details come in in addition to the respect.
So when
Merv is a real cinephile.
It's a real what?
Cinephile. 50
What's
Shades
that?
of Grey, Color Purple. Yeah. You like movies, honey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a big movie buff.
You mentioned a lot of movies.
Yeah.
You said
watch
him
him on Tuesday. You do all the
cinephile, honey.
Hey, you just gave me a new description of myself. I'll tell people like, I'm a cinephile.
He learned a new word today.
But Merv, just to piggyback off of you and your new word, but no, in all seriousness, before I got divorced, we went through marriage counseling, and the marriage counselor said, if both of you wake up every day and say to yourself, what am I going to do today to make my spouse happy? Or to do one special thing, and it didn't have to be, go out and buy a gift. It could have been to take out the garbage, if that made your spouse happy. It could have been, washing the dishes. It could have been, to cook my spouse their favorite meal, or sending them, a text message throughout the day. I feel like if both parties wake up or to end the day with that same mindset, then what could go wrong? Because you're both working for the betterment of each other to make that person happy. And so that is just a tip that I, even right now in the situation I'm in right now, it's like, I think about that. I was like, I took that to heart. I took that to heart with me. I'm like, okay, what can I do today? What am I going to do today to make sure that this person that I'm with, that I care about, knows that I care about them, to make their life better today?
That sounds good. However, in reality, that's not going to be able to be that can't happen every day. I'm gonna tell you why. Like I said before, life is unpredictable. There may be a time where he's super busy at work. Let's say I get a text message every day about how beautiful I am. He can't wait to come home to me, right?
Yeah, I used to do that too. I used to do that every morning, every day.
He used to text me, "Good morning, beautiful," and he would leave the bed and text me in the car, "Good morning, beautiful," in the beginning of our relationship. And now he doesn't. So am I now to say, because you stopped texting me and sending me that one text every day, you don't love me anymore? Like, that is hard. It's hard to do that. It is possible. However, because the hustle and bustle of life, it's really difficult to sometimes stop every single day and make sure I do something something special. Sometimes that's something special. I'm married to a black man who drives in a truck all day, every day. Sometimes coming home alive in one piece is enough without the text and message that I got throughout the day of how much he loves me and can't wait to come home. Sometimes that is enough. It could be something as simple as taking the garbage out. But shit, I've been busy. I'm cleaning the house. I forgot about the garbage, and he comes home and like, yo, you was home all day and ain't do the fucking garbage. Like that. It's just dumb to really even argue about or look at certain things.
I like
that.
y'all.
So sometimes it's just, thank you, Nick. I appreciate that.
I like how y'all talk about each other. I feel that shit. I like it.
Sometimes it's difficult to do that. It sounds good. Think about your partner every day and do something sweet. But in 2021, the way life is right now, sometimes that's just not possible. But that doesn't mean you still don't love the person. I was busy today. Sometimes that can happen. And I work from home. I should be able to have a cooked meal every time this man comes home. But I'm on a computer like this all day where he would actually be out in the field working and then still come home and cook. He can easily say, you don't love me because you don't never cook. And I do cook sometimes. And when I do, he's like, oh, snap, you cook? I'm like, yeah, I put a little bit of dazzle on the stove. But he usually does more of the cooking. He's great at it. So, yeah, sometimes that does happen. Where you...
Mel, could it be something as simple as a hug?
It's whatever your love language is. It doesn't have to be, it's whatever your love language is. Like your husband, he's a truck driver. Is that what you said? Truck driver?
Well, he's a plumber. So he drives.
He's a plumber. Okay.
Yeah. So he drives a lot to people's houses.
So like it's just something simple, something small. It doesn't have to be go out of your way. It's what caters to your love language. If your husband knows you, he loves you, he understands what makes you tick, what makes you happy. I think Mr. Graves, it says it's the little things are necessary. And so that's just the point I was trying to make, that like sometimes it's just the small things that you forget about that he remembered to do, or vice versa. And when you're in a struggling marriage, sometimes you have to go that extra mile to have that understanding with your partner that I do have to do a little bit more because this situation is struggling. So what works for one couple may not work for, the masses, but when you're in a struggling marriage and you're trying to be selfless and you're trying to figure out ways to keep that marriage together, those little things do count.
Very much so, because sometimes that could cause a big argument.
Shout out to people in struggling marriage trying to make it work.
Yeah. But I think sometimes, love language is like more than those 5 that people are familiar with. I think sometimes it's very different. We're talking about all kinds of different marriages. There's definitely way more than 5 love languages. Like you really have to, and I think that's the consensus that all of us are saying, even in the comments. Like you really have to find somebody that you are not only equally yoked with, but that you genuinely like. I like being with you. I like being in your space. I don't get tired of being in your space. I'm not aggravated when I'm in your space. If you take your time to find those things out about a person, being with them wouldn't be such an issue. Even if y'all decide to live together, it wouldn't be like, oh, I see this nigga every day. Like, you still here? Like, what are you doing? Those things wouldn't be so much of an issue if you genuinely like this person. Outside of him, my husband, is this my homeboy? You my dude. Like, can we laugh and joke about people? Can we watch the same movies and crack up? Do we have some of the same interests? And then on top of that, you are also my husband, which means I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you, which means whatever life brings me, I'm going to be experiencing that with you next to me, the good and the bad. And if you don't like the person you with, that's gonna fucking suck.
Oh man, that's a disaster.
Right.
I mean, but like I don't even like. A lot of people don't realize they don't like the person they with until they already in the situation.
Yeah. Until the pandemic. Then it was like, I don't like your ass. Like, I like when you was going to work. I like when you was going out with your homeboy.
I like when we saw each other on Tuesdays and Fridays, and the rest of the week.
Yeah, this pandemic, Friday.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, then the pandemic came and we were stuck in the house having to sanitize with each other. And I'm like, you still fucking here?
So
go somewhere.
I appreciate that, COVID. Thank you. That's what's up.
COVID.
So would you guys say that COVID?
Thank you, COVID.
Would you guys say that COVID brought more relationships together or drove more relationships apart? What would you guys say?
Both. But I think
it was make it or break it time.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it was either shit or get off the pot. You know what I mean? Either we gonna work this out because we like each other that much, or you know what, I'm gonna holler at you.
COVID also, it was crazy with the COVID. It was like one extreme to the other, because also during COVID, I mean, it's not a good thing, but since we're talking about it, during COVID, domestic violence also went up as well.
Sure it
I'm
did
sure.
on both sides.
Yep.
Because people was realizing they didn't like their partner as much, because the breaks that they was taking throughout their life, that wasn't happening no more. He wasn't going to the bar on Thursday nights with his homies or going bowling or whatever they do.
Off.
You know what I'm saying? Because everything was closed. So he wasn't going out of town for them business trips no more. Or whatever, or whatever the case may be, because a lot of flights was canceled.
Also during COVID, she couldn't go get no side dick. He couldn't go get no side pussy.
See.
I'm tired.
Okay.
I wasn't going
But
that
it
route.
also brought the fact that you couldn't, like, if you look at Neo and his wife, although I hate looking at celebrities because no celebrity relationship is my relationship goal, but they made a point when they talked about how they ended up getting back together. Neo mentioned that right before the pandemic, they were looking at getting a divorce and breaking up, right? But the pandemic forced them to deal with their issues. And now that they had to deal with their issues in the same household, it actually helped their marriage. She's pregnant again. They're having another baby, right? So that can happen a lot. I think both has happened. Abuse with children has also increased, because you realize that people don't have. This is why it's important, like a comment I made earlier, why it's important to have your own existence outside the person you're with, because sometimes you do need a break from somebody, and being overly consumed with someone, especially if you don't like them, can cause a lot of abuse to happen. So that domestic violence that increased during COVID is because the person did not have an escape anymore. They had to deal with what was going on, and if you don't have any,
you're gonna lash out.
You're gonna if you don't have any way of doing that, you're gonna lash out at that person. If your anger is an issue and your physical abuse is an issue, it's only going to increase if you are in the same four walls for a whole year dealing with this person and not having a way to release your stress some other way, whether it be boxing, whether it be going to the gym, whether it be racetrack, whether it be drinking at the bar, whatever it is. You're stuck with the person that you're with at that moment. And everything that comes with that person, good, bad, or indifferent, you have to deal with. There's no way out. So if you don't like the person that you're with, that's going to be really hard.
Yep.
But guess what?
But guess fucking what, though? Guess fucking what?
What, Murr?
If you was living like Murdy Murt during the pandemic, each one of y'all motherfuckers had your own motherfucking house.
And you got your break. Which is a good point. That's a good point to me.
Hey,
you got your break, which is why I mentioned that type of lifestyle gives you the freedom to have your own space, and then also it's like the best of both worlds. It's not for me, but I can understand why somebody would choose that lifestyle.
I mean, but like she said earlier, you got to be real special. You know what I mean? Or just full of yourself if you think that you can just leave this man or this woman sitting where they sit, where you left them, and you can leave and do what you do and just come back and they still just sit right there waiting on you. Like that in itself to me is crazy.
If they're not also,
which that's all y'all gotta do.
Which
go 2 houses.
Honestly,
every day go 2 houses.
Most of the time, they probably not until later, because a lot of times people don't want to have. We just said people don't want to have those type of conversations early in the relationship. So you don't find out this dude or this chick is in the swinging until after you catch him on a swing. Like for real, you know what I'm saying? So and now you gotta sit. Well, why didn't you tell me? Oh, because I felt like you wasn't gonna listen, or whatever the case may be. Whatever stops you from not bringing it up at the time, that's your excuse. Now you got a whole different can of worms to open up. Now I feel like now we can't communicate. Much less I'm finding out that you were swinging. Now we need to come on common grounds. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that should have been the case early, before you was like, hey, we're gonna be committed to each other. Like, I can't even date you if I don't know anything about you. And a lot of people want to learn as they date, which of course that's what it is. But me, I'm the probative type. I'm nosy. Call it what you want. You know what I mean? I don't have no problem asking questions. I don't have no problem hurting your feelings if I feel like you need it to understand the situation. I'm not just blatantly disrespectful, but I mean, I definitely don't hold no punches when it comes to my relationship and what I feel like is going to better us in the long run.
I can attest to that.
I also feel like there might be like, there's always somebody that feel like they can change the person. So a dude might be like, or a woman might be like, hey, I want this. Oh, then you think that you can change them. And then the next thing you know, they, like you said, they really about that life, and you over there with your feelings hurt.
Right. And now you mad because, I couldn't change the way this person told me they was like damn, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But then again, it's not for me to get because I'm married. So that's y'all problem.
He sure is. No. He sure is.
Hey.
Yeah. Be glad you are not out here.
That's the single nigga problems.
Right. You know what I mean? Which, truth be told, like 2 years ago, that was me. I was having single nigga problems. You know what I mean? And it got to the point where I was like, yo, I hate dating. I hate people. I oh man.
Because everyone feels like it's like married men that have been married for a long time. I feel like they feel like single men have it good. But you said single men have problems. So define single men problems.
So that
I mean, the only thing that is good about being single is you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. Other than that, another caveat to that is you got your own money. You really don't got to dictate with nobody else. But that falls under you can do what you want to do when you want to do it kind of scenario. But other than that, you go to an empty house most of the time. You know what I mean? Like ain't nobody there waiting on you. You don't have no type of motivation in that department to better yourself. A lot of time, not all the time, but a lot of times a single person that's been single for a while, they get stuck in a little rut and they get complacent. And they like, well, I guess, nobody wants me, or either I'll find somebody when I'm supposed to, and they don't try to better themselves, to put themselves in a position to find that person. I've seen it happen a lot of times with some personal friends where I was just like, yo, maybe if you switch it up a little bit, you might find better luck. You can't fish out the same pond and expect to get a different species of fish.
All right. So it's we're about 2.5 hours. We're 2.5 hours in. This is one of the topics we can fuck around here till midnight. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We got some final shots. Who wanna start off with the wrap up?
Wait, where's Sean to come on and say shout out to? Oh, you did that at the beginning. My bad. I'm sorry. This y'all shit. I'm just so used to him coming on, telling us all off, saying the shout outs and then telling us all off. Like the one day he called me like half a crackhead or something.
Gotcha.
And then Mark slid something in about K2.
K2? That's funny.
All right. We're gonna let the couple start off the wrap up. Y'all gonna give y'all final shout outs and wrap up.
Well, as far as the topic goes, I think that we all learned tonight that it's very important to if marriage is not your goal, that's fine. If having a traditional marriage is not your goal, that's fine. If being unorthodox and doing what works for you, and you have no problem with it, that's fine. Only thing that we've all agreed that should be in place is that you do all of those things with someone that you like, someone that has the same mindset and the same goals as you. You guys have to walk that same path together, and if you don't, it's gonna cause a lot of problems. So try not to just take your time in finding somebody that's willing to do whatever type of relationship you want, whether it's marriage, life partner, separate home, same home, kids, no kids, whatever you decide. Just make sure you find somebody that also agrees with that same lifestyle. It's a lot easier for your mental health.
All right. Mark, what you got?
I'm gonna say like this, man. I get married, I gotta see every day. This living separate cribs, we not doing none of that shit at all. You know, I'm telling you, you know, because if you leave me in my own space, I'ma just forget. Like I'ma take extra shifts at work. You know what I'm saying? I'm hanging out with the homies. Like, you know what I mean? They might even tell me, like, yo, you gotta call your wife, check in. Oh shit, my bad. Hey, you want something to eat? You know what I mean? I'll be right through. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna finish this beer real quick and I'm gonna be right through. See, that ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm like, man, I need a woman, you know what I mean, for that'll keep me on point. Because like if she kind of relaxed, then I'm gonna be even more relaxed. I need somebody gonna keep me on point, like, yo, you know what? We gotta do this shit. Like, oh yeah, you right. I'm on my way over, or yo, I'm on my way to the house. You know what I mean? Not that relaxed shit, like, oh, it's cool, whatever. Cause I'm a stretch that shit hard. So,
never
you know what I'm saying? I need somebody who'll keep me on point. If I'm on point, guess what? Everything gonna be fine. You know, that's all I got with it.
Nick.
So first off, shout out to Black Love. The Greens.
Thank you.
No doubt.
As far as this conversation goes, you really have to know yourself. You really have to be honest with yourself. What is it that I'm looking for? What is it that I want? What is the ideal situation for me? You have to be honest with whoever it is that you're dating, you know. And like Mr. Green said earlier, you can't wait too far to have those important conversations. And you also have to have a life of your own. Like you cannot be like so consumed with the other person that you don't have no shit going on for yourself, because that's the kind of thing that can make or break a relationship too. Like if you don't have no life. There was something else I wanted to say. Happy Malcolm X Day, May 19th.
Yes.
Yeah, and to Mel, I apologize for taking your comments, your questions the wrong way. You know, like I'm that protective friend. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm single, child. I suck at this love shit. Don't take my advice.
I did too. I mean, everybody does.
Where's Mel at?
She's coming in and then she's going back out. So there might be.
I think the Saturday.
She's trying to come back in now.
All right. Go ahead, Merv.
Hold on.
Well, I know she's coming back.
Yeah, she's coming back. Hold on.
There you go, Mel.
All right, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. This was an amazing dialogue. I was excited to hear about the different perspectives of traditional and non-traditional marriages. I love you, Mr. and Mrs. Green. You hear me. I love everything about you, the relationship that you have. And so, final thoughts. At the end of the day, like you said, you got to be equally yoked. You got to have the same ideas and values, and to each his own. You love who you love, how you want to love them. I remember when I started dating the person that I'm dating, somebody asked me, was that my boyfriend? And I said, we are what we are until we're not. And so,
mind your business.
Okay.
That's what it is. We are what we are until we're not. And so, love how you want to love, who you want to love, the ways you like to love. And if that's in a separate house or in the same bed or in the she shed, if that's the love that you have for that person, then so be it. That's between you and the other person.
I was still in that shit. We are what we are until we not, goddammit.
Word up.
That mean?
Word up.
Figure it out.
Write that down. Don't forget it.
Oh, I ain't gonna forget that shit. Yeah, that's just like you watching the movie. That's a one line. Right there, that's like a one-liner in a movie. That shit right there. We are what we are until we not. Hey, Merk, give us your final comment so I can post this shit while I'm finishing this motherfucker up. Merc, give us your final comment so I can post that shit while I finish this motherfucker up. All right. Yeah. Great night. Great dialogue tonight with the traditional versus non-traditional. The main topic was the non-traditional as far as the married but living separate. So that's why I left it on that topic. That was the last topic. I left that there for like the last 30, 45 minutes because that was the post that really kind of started this, and then Tina B put all the questions and everything else together. But yeah, like everybody else said, you gotta be equally yoked, and whatever tradition that you're doing, whether it's American, whether it's Rome, African, traditional, non-traditional, whatever the fuck you doing, you just gotta make sure that that person you're doing it with, y'all on the same motherfucking page, and both y'all are equally yoked with the same shit for the most part. And whatever y'all choose to do, then the success rate goes up. With y'all being on the same page, communicated with one another, and being equally yoked, no matter how traditional or non-traditional it is.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. Good job, Irv. Good job.
Sean,
you're
close us out with the damn with the people, the Facebook
tell-off.
Live and all.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that to y'all tonight. I'm gonna let y'all live tonight. I'm not gonna do all that. But with good dialogue tonight. We found out that Mark is still not getting married. So ladies out there, if you're looking for a thug, you know what I mean, you're not getting it from Mark. You're not getting that thug and loving, man. So Mark is not doing that.
It's summertime.
Mark said that summertime. Mark definitely ain't getting married in summertime. Mark, you said the roof is down, the titties are out, so it ain't happening. But Mark, Merv, good job tonight. Doing the moderation for this topic. This is a pretty good topic. You get different flavors of the topic when it comes down to just marriage, unorthodox versus a traditional marriage. One thing I can tell you all, like everyone has some great input, some great insight. That's more synonymous to how you live in your lifestyle, how you live in things, how you want to live. Even like Mel said, we together until we not together, or something like that.
We are what we are until we not.
Yeah.
Don't come on fucking up the
Some
line
people,
of the night. That's the line
some
of the
people say
night
that.
now.
I get it. Some people say that cucumber's better pickled, so it is what it is. So the biggest thing out of all of this is that everyone is doing what they feel like is important for them, that make them happy. So again, I salute all of you out there who actually living how you want to live. For me and mine, I keep it very simple: wife, baby, Sean, and that's that. And we good, and we living good. Apart from that, shout out to Blackjack TV. Shout out to Channel 199 TV, YouTube. Shout out to all of our partners. We got the street team out there, Tayson, our street team general. Shout out to Stacks. Stacks and I were talking behind the scenes watching this shit show tonight. And we had a lot of comments.
Here we go.
Yeah, we'll let y'all know how we feel about tonight.
We really missed you tonight, Sean.
No,
I actually missed Stacks.
Yeah, Stacks don't miss y'all though. He was not going to be on here tonight. So y'all can hold that. Y'all can hold that. Shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to the Lullas. Shout out to Tina. Shout out to the team. Shout out to Rob, Queen's Brethren. Queens get the money. Shout out to Mel for hopping on the night. For Nick, crazy ass, hopping on the night. I'm not going to Nick's compound. Ain't no telling what would happen out there. That shit gonna be like what's the dude Merv, Jeffrey Dahmer shit where he had the little family. That's what Nick probably got going on in Hurley over there in Philly somewhere. But shout out to Bobby and Blackjack.
Just eating motherfuckers.
Yeah, you go over there, you know what's gonna walk into. Like shit, how did we get here?
I'm gonna be eating something, honey. It's gonna, we ain't gonna go there.
It's a family show.
I love that, Chris.
It's a family show. Chill out. But thank you all for hopping on tonight and potting tonight. Show. Okay, Merv. Thanks for hopping on tonight and potting tonight. We got more shit to talk about. We got more shit to do. So bear with us as we continue to rock. We got some other shit coming out of the pipeline. So just be prepared for those announcements as well. With that said, good job.
Sunday, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock Sunday.
Appreciate y'all having me. It was fun.
Absolutely.
All right,
Peace, everybody.
Peace, y'all.
Europe.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.